What's up, chat? What up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry, I was just charging my my headphones. Forgot to charge them. It's okay. It's at 25%. I think I'll last. Shout out to Apple fast charging. Shout out to that. Guys, today's looking very interesting. Very, very interesting. Looking good. I'm still recovering from last night or from yesterday. Still recovering from the long New York session stream. Yeah, AGW, I see that. Yeah, I see that. I see that. All right, let me just start up the Zoom call. I got you guys. What's going on, guys? Okay. What up, guys? Let me just fix my chat box. All right. What's going on? Welcome, welcome. What can I hear? There we go. All right. I don't know if the music's too loud. I think it's good. Pretty good. All right, so what's going on, guys? 200 viewers in here off the rip. Welcome. If you guys are new here, I appreciate you being here today. Today is going to be very interesting. You have, let's see, you got USD news, you got ADP non-farm employment change at 8:15 a.m. Eastern, and then you have CAD interest rates at 10 a.m. and then you have Fed Chair Powell testifies at 10 a.m. as well. So this should be pretty interesting right here. 8:15. I love how it's 8:15 because it won't be 8:30. And usually when we have news at 8:30, we're kind of forced to wait till 8:45, right? Because we gotta wait for that first 15 close. So that's dope. That's amazing. That you don't gotta worry about that today. We can take trades at 8:30. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, the focus. Today's focus will be Yo, Wix, that mic is loud. Okay, today's focus is gonna be ADP non-farm employment change here today. So, use the ADP at 8 a.m. Eastern. All right, sounds about right. All right, but yeah, I think that's it. That's all we got to worry about tonight. For the most part, it should be a pretty chill day here. Let's take a look at GJ and gold. Should be pretty interesting. I looked at the charts a bit earlier today. I was looking at it maybe like 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago before the stream started, and we're looking solid, especially on this hourly candle. On both pairs here, bro. Let's get started. Starting off with gold. Let's do our favorite pair first. Gold for the week looks like we are bearish, right? We had the discussion already. We're bearish since Sunday, with the fact that price closed bearish here at resistance, or sorry, closed at this resistance here. And what price is doing right now on a weekly time frame is this could just be a top wick for price to drive down later on the week. All right, there's no confirmation whatsoever just yet of us driving down, but we did tap that minor resistance there, 1850-ish levels. And as long as we respect this high here, price should be able to flip for the week, right? So we could continue to push down for the week, but we're gonna need a day time for confirmation first for that to happen. But yeah, expecting the week count to drive down towards 1864. Same analysis has since Monday. The daily time frame shows that we're bullish though. So if you guys take a look at this on a daily, you had a resistance on gold right around here at like 1909.669. And if you get a closure, or sorry, you got a closure above the range, right? So today you would expect the price to drive up towards the next daily resistance, which is up here at like 1952 here. Range going up is going to be approximately like, I mean, it kind of hasn't flipped yet. We had like another like 70 pips going up towards that resistance. I was targeting like more so of this resistance up here at 1860. So you had like a bit more range going up. I think it's solid like 100 or something pip range going up for the day we had. On a flip here, right? From here to here is like 130, but from here where we are right now to there, 300 pips. So here's the thing: price is coming down, price goes above the range, and now we're coming down to create a bottom wick, right? We came down, we tapped the minor support level. So at this point, this could be the lower wick being created. So if you're anticipating this to be a lower wick created on gold, there's a high chance that we may continue up from here. But in order for that to happen, you're gonna have to look at the smaller time frame to see where we can get buys on, and what, like, you gotta fill the puzzles, the pieces to the puzzles. All right, but what I see here is that there is a minor support on gold right around like this level right here, and the previous forward candle never closed below that support level. We closed kind of respecting that support, right? So this forward candle at any given point could still flip bullish to drive up, as they could be rejecting that support. If you look left there as well, I think it should be a clearer support level somewhere. Yeah, right around here. Right around here-ish. Around the support. Right around here, right? As you can see, decent level of support. That forward candle kind of closed above it. So at any given point, this forward candle will still flip bullish to drive up. But for me, buys today for me would probably be if we were to continue up to fill, I want to say, let's see, this is your resistance right now. If you break above this resistance, you're most likely going to drive up towards the next resistance, which is up here at around these areas here, 1933. So if I'm looking for buys today, I'm probably going to wait for 1933 to break. If you break above 1933, you then have clean traffic driving price up towards like this amount of resistance up here at 1940, or even up here at like 1946 here. So I think what you need though is you're gonna need a closure above this resistance first. All right, I'll avoid the range we're in right now, and I'll avoid the next range we're about to break into. Actually, who knows? I might consider this range later, but I think the better range, the safer range, would be above 1933 here, going up towards like 1940 or even 1956. All right, 46. But yeah, that's about it. Buzz. Above here, closure. I think right now we're also creating a support right around here on gold too. So this is like a little range we're in right now. Well, not a little range. This is a huge range. This is an 80 pip range we're in right now. But if price decides to break above, then we should continue for buys. If price decides to reject this resistance and maybe close below like 1910 or 1915-ish, then maybe we can look for sells below 1915, come down towards like 1907-ish, right? So it's a 80 pip range, 9 pip range going down if we were to get a closure below 1916. But those would be my range 2 sells, I believe. Right? Yeah, it'll be the 4 candle rebreaking the lows. It'll be a day candle rebreaking the lows if we were to come down towards 1916, and then from there, the day time frame should fill the rest of the range, which should take you down towards like 1907, tapping that support to the left. So yeah, sells will be below there for me. Anything in this range right now that we're currently in, there's no sells just yet. I'm gonna hold out this range. I'm gonna take buys above this range, and I'm gonna hold out of this range. I'll take sells below this range. All right, so these are the clean levels for me today. Gonna avoid these 2 ranges. I'm gonna catch this piece and this piece probably for the day. But yeah, that's my gold analysis for now. That may update, that may change, especially with the 1 hour candle closing below. Well, actually, no, sorry, no. The 1 hour never closed below. The 1 hour candle closed respecting the support down here at 1920-25. It's a different support level. But yeah, that's my gold. All right, this analysis might change throughout the day, but for now, it's gonna be where it is. GJ on the other hand, GJ looks like the weekly is I mean, we discussed this. The weekly came down, tapped target for the week already, came down, tapped the support level. There's still a chance we can still break through the support. Like, just because we are tapping support doesn't mean that we're gonna reject to continue up just yet. There's no confirmation whatsoever of us rejecting. So I'm still bearish for the week. If we break below this minor support, if we re-break the weekly low, I believe we're gonna be headed down towards the next level of clean traffic, which is down here at like 150, 500. Because if you break this low, look left, this is all clean traffic driving price down. And we'll be clean to drive down towards like 150, 500-ish. The daily time frame shows that you're bearish. So daily shows that you have an algo day today. You closed below the support right around here on GJ. So if you're closing below support, you want to look left. And looking left, this is all clean traffic on GJ. You have clean traffic now until 151, 500, right? Just think of this as a 30-minute time frame. If you were to remove your time frames here and just cover up the time frames, candles are candles, regardless of the pair or the time frame, right? So if it shows that you're closing below this support level, right around here, there's a high chance that this candle should bring volume today, and it should drive down towards 151, 500. So if you want sells for a day, you're expecting that candle to flip bearish. But on top of that, you would probably want to see, let's see, the 4 hour candle has formed a resistance here, right around here, and it's formed a support here as well. So this is a range that we're in on the 4 hour time frame. This 4 hour candle that's currently open has no bottom wick. So at any given point, since we close below the resistance, could just reject to continue down. This candle could end up looking like this. Right, I'm expecting this candle to just flip bearish like this since we're below that resistance. Price never closed above in a 4 hour time frame yet, and we have 2 hours left in that candle. So if I want sells, I want to see if we could probably break below this support down here. If you break below 390, that will be a range 2, or sorry, that'll be a fake out. What am I saying? Range 2. That would be a fake out coming down to fill the range, and then you could expect price to drive down, coming down to fill the rest of the range down at 152.792. All right, but I really want to see this candle close back into the range, and then the range going back is going to be around like a 59 to 60 pip range. All right, but yeah, it looks like this is your first range here, so range 1, and then this is like your lower range 2 as your form of resistance here. So range 1, range 2, if you want buys, I guess you can see you can take buys above here. That'll be valid for range 2 breakouts, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably hold out on those buys and take buys once you break above. Let's see. I mean, this 1 hour candle is flipping bullish. We're breaking the highs. It has a very high chance to continue up towards 153.800. But I'll be much more comfortable taking buys above 153.800 here. I'm going to avoid this range. I'm going to watch this thing fly up. I'm going to catch the piece up here instead. From here to here, 20 pips. And then obviously above there to here is like 38 pips. So You have a lot of ranges today, guys. So I wouldn't worry too much about this range. If you miss out on this, I just don't feel comfortable taking this range breakout, because at any given point we can still break back into the range here. This is not enough of a solid range 2 for me yet. Let's put buys above, or sorry, no. Let's put sells below here. Sells below there, closure, and then you want buys above here, closure, range 2 breakout. All right. Either above 15300, or you can maybe move it above here instead if you feel more comfortable within that range. I think this would make more sense, because if you take buys above here, it's 20 pips going up, but it's a smaller range, and just, I mean, it'll make sense. It'll also make sense as we're breaking back into the range there. You can probably expect price to fill the range going up, but I think buys above here gives you a bigger range and a much cleaner range, I believe, and then it'll take you up towards the next resistance up here at like 154,400. But yeah, not bad. Let's see, buys on gold look clean too. This 1 hour candle is gonna close in about 7 minutes, and if we close back into this range here, there's a very high chance this next 1 hour candle will probably drive up to fill the rest of the range. Look left, you kind of came down earlier, you tapped this 1 hour support down here, rejected it, formed the support. So if I remove everything on my screen here, if you're forming support right around here on gold, there's a high chance gold may drive up to fill the next range, which is up here. So that's why I'm expecting the next 1 hour candle to drive up to fill this range. But the question is, will we break 1934, or will we reject to continue down? Right? The only way we'll see rejection is if price actually closes bearish at this resistance. If we close bearish at resistance, then maybe we can reconsider sells, as that'll be a range 2 breakout, and that'll be a stronger range 2 formed, and we can take sells on the next candle opening. That last period is kind of high, and then TP will be down here, or you can run it down towards like 1916. But right now, let's just focus on this 1 hour candle here and see what happens. But yeah, should be pretty simple there, guys. Pretty simple there. Onion on GJ, yeah. I mean, I really want to see a fake on GJ personally. I really want to see this break back below 153.390 with the data bias, but I mean, that 4 hour candle is kind of a giveaway that we could just reject at any given point. No bottom wick on the 4 hour candle, right? So this can just be a top wick being created for price to flip back down bearish towards 152.79791. So I'm gonna be patient. There won't be any buys until 154 for me. If you take buys here, then take buys. You know, just follow your analysis, trust your analysis. Where's my chat? There it is. Check near session on DVS. This on DVS proof of my U30 shorts. No one wants proof, man. You can send a chart. When you send charts, it's not for proof that you take a trade. It's just for there's nothing like there's no need to prove anything to anyone, right? You're doing these things for yourself. Right? When you're saying charts, and just educating others at the same time. Charts for stream. Would like to fill his range, sells with closure on resistance. Yeah, it's solid. I mean, yeah, that's what I drew earlier. That'll be I guess you can say, yeah, that'll be valid. Yeah, onion play at resistance to drive down to retest the lows. Yeah, but I'm pretty bullish on gold today, so I want to see if we can really break above 1933. If we don't, we'll reject. We'll see it, but. Yeah, this candle here should look good here. If the 1 hour candle closes above, we gotta close above 1928 here, 855, for this next 1 hour candle to drive up. It's a 30-minute resistance there. Look left, right around here. price has struggled here, so each and every time we've got a closure above this resistance, we're able to drive up to fill the rest of the range, which is at 1933.451. That should get filled pretty easily if you do close above. And the 4 candle will be flipping too. Like, so look, if we come up now and you fill this range on a 1 hour time frame towards 1933.451, the 4 hour candle will then be flipping bullish. Will be flipping bullish. And remember how, going back to what I said earlier about the 4 hour candle creating that support here, and we never closed below that support, looking left on the 4 hour earlier. So we flip bullish, there's a high chance that the 4 hour candle will end up looking like this. We're flipping bullish, and this would be a huge wick, huge liquidity wick, right? And what will happen is, as we're starting to flip bullish, respecting that support, most likely what's going to happen, since this is now a support and this is a resistance, we're going to continue up to fill the range up at 1947. So if we now push up towards 1947, what's going to happen on the daily time frame is the daily time frame would then be flipping bullish as well. 1945, what a coincidence, right? And as you push up towards 1945, look left on the daily, you have clean traffic now until like 1960 because you closed above this resistance last night. And then you have now clean range to continue up towards 1960. So like that's just how you put, like, that's how you tell a story in FX. You're just putting pieces together. This thing leads to that thing, that leads to this thing, that leads to that thing, right? That's all that is. Yeah, these are solid ranges. Buys above your closure, same thing I have above 1933. Buys above there. Yeah, this is clean. Same nice levels, same resistance, same support, same idea, same range breakouts, right? Solid. Any trades nav though? Any trades in London? Sells below here, closure. Yeah, same idea. Sells below here and buys above here. Same exact idea. Perfect. Possible fake away for 30 time frame. Yeah, wait for the 1 hour and 30. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think this count's probably just gonna close bullish here, but maybe the next hour, 1 hour candle or something, or maybe we just break above and push up to fill this range here. Solid. Caught live on stream. Nice. 4 hour. Yeah, it's solid. Break out lows. Well, stop loss. 35 pips. TP was 70 pips. That's solid. That's solid, yeah. No, it was 67 pips. Yeah. Not bad. Wait, am I tripping? 153 to 351 is 35 pips. And then 153 to 152, 640 is, oh yeah, 35 pips. 33 pips, 35, 37. This is clean, guys. Very clean, right? If you break back into the range, what is this? If this is your, another way you can look at it from what I just described is, if this is your resistance and this is your support and you close above here later, what's this going to be? You guys know the answer. This is going to be a fake out. So if we're faking out back into the range, most likely we're going to fill a range. Looking left, this is all clean traffic. All clean. What up, Jack Fung? What's going on? Yeah, guys. Yo, we caught that trade yesterday, guys, at 11:15 on stream. That was the longest stream I ever did. Ever. Longest. We streamed till 12 p.m. Like a 5.5 hour stream. One trade. No Zoom? I sent it. Zoom's here. Do you know about bonus stream on Blueberry Markets? No, I haven't even looked into their stuff yet. I just signed up with them and I haven't really like looked into anything else. Okay, so the 30-minute candle has closed above here, and this candle should be creating a small bottom wick, or decent bottom wick. Should tap around the support level, and then once it flips, you should expect this next 1 hour candle to probably drive up to fill the range here. Not bad. Buys here aren't bad, but I think the reason why I don't want buys here is just, I would just much prefer 1933 to break. I'll be fine with missing on this range here. I really want to see this forward candle flip first, and I really want to see us break above this resistance up here. But this is something we can just watch, I guess, or at least I can just watch and see it drive. Stops are like 40 pips. TP is like 40 pips, like a 1-to-1. Gonna have this FOREX though. Yeah, just do exclamation point journals, or yeah, journal in the chat, and it should pop up. But these are just like my like, this isn't my journal personally. Like, it's just, I don't really have a journal. My journal is a stream. This is just for the stream, like trades on stream. This is more so for sample sizing on stream, I'll say, because it has all of this. Yep, there's your bottom wick. This is decent. Yo, Wixnan, how loud is your mic right now?
I don't know. It's all right. I'm sitting inside the phone.
Oh, you should bring your headset, man.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm cool with being on mute. I got something else up there. I'll let you know. I think I'm gonna lose like connection right now. We're about to flip though.
All right, man.
Tell GJ to wait for him.
It's not gonna wait for you.
I think like 7:30. It's in my issue is manage. Like I gotta open it and then I gotta manage it as I'm on the service.
Yeah. Your mic is kind of chalk though. Not gonna lie.
Me.
Guys, Wixland's he's kind of busy today, so he'll be on tomorrow. But I mean, he's here, but like he's gonna be on a flight or something soon. So clear trades taken. You're right. Trades taken. Trades taken, and then trades called, or not trades called, breakdowns. Where's Wix gone? He can answer that for yes. I don't know if I could, but yes. Do you think at NY price always always moves 10 pips on gold? Yes, they didn't. I don't really go off of that. Like I'm not the type to just like go off of just like, yes, like for the past couple of weeks we've seen it move at 8 AM every single day, but like I'm not just gonna take a buy every day at 8 AM, right? There's things that come to play as well. Like yesterday, for example, yeah, there's volume on gold at 8 AM, but 8 AM candle closed bullish above the range, and then 8 AM just dropped down, create a bottom wick, right? So I always wait for a bottom wick before I just take a random buy. Wait for a bottom wick and then I execute. There's a lot of factors that come to the trades. It's not as simple, you know. If it was that simple where you can just take a buy 8 AM every single day or sell 8 AM every single day, it would be free money. But the markets are going to give you that. They're not always going to give you like a 10 pip move every 8 AM candle. Sometimes we range until like 10. Sometimes we range until 9:30. Yeah, he's flying to Dallas. Does Ted join us live?
To this day!
Oh fuck, wrong sound.
Is that you on Control FX live stream? Yes, it is.
Yeah, there you go. He joins time to time. He joined yesterday. He joined twice this week. I'm not gonna. No free promo. Is the hourly support turn resistance at 934.76 still valid? Or if it's still valid, should we Should we till it closes above 935 to set our buy stop? There's no buy stops because there's nothing here. Like you can't determine there's a buy stop or not. There's just nothing set up for us yet. If you get a closure above, it comes down to, okay, well, if you got a closure above, how big is the previous candle wick? How big is the current candle wick? Right? So if you get a closure above like this, yeah, I'll place a buy stop depending on how you open. If you open up with no bottom wick, then we can place a buy stop on a break of the highs. But if you open up with a bottom wick or without a bottom wick and just drive up, we're gonna have to wait for a bottom wick to be created before we enter any buy stops or market execute. So there's a lot of factors. You can't just take a buy stop like once you close above or below the ranges, right? Sometimes we market execute, sometimes we place buy stops. It depends on how we open. What's your risk per trade? 1%, 1 or 2%. Yeah, this range here on gold is gonna be very. This is gonna be a tough range we're in right now. It's gonna be a tough area. From, I want to say from here, from this support until like, I want to say like this level, these levels here. It's gonna be a very tricky range to be in. This is a range you probably want to stay out of the whole NY session. You want to see a breakout of that range. What's going on, Linda? Why do you only trade GJ and gold? Because GJ and gold, only one currency moves both pairs during the NY session. Because for GJ, Asian is closed. It's just London moving GJ, right? So from, I think it's 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. And then for gold, it's only the dollar. So 8 a.m. Eastern or pre-NY, 8 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. GJ buys, yeah, I can probably see this kind of going up here, but it's a range one breakout for me. I'm gonna wait for sells below here. Just be careful taking buys above here because it's still within a range one breakout. This is the same reason, like this is the exact same chart as yesterday, like basically the same thing as this video I posted yesterday. This is a very good breakdown, guys. If you guys haven't watched this video yet, or if you guys weren't there live to witness it live, I'll say go check it out. Hey, Basta, what's up, Danny? Man, I'm out here. Where's Marcos at? So quiet today. I just got a haircut too. It's crazy. My hair grew up so quick. So 1 hour 1925. No, I'm not selling until 1916. Some of you guys come late to the streams. I did my breakdown earlier this morning. We did like a 20-15 minute breakdown on GJ and gold, falling weekly down to the 30-15 minute time frame breakdown. And these are the end results. This is what I have on my screen. This is what I'm waiting for. For now, this might change. This may change, especially if this 1 hour candle on gold here closes maybe below the support level. Because then from there we may be taking sells. But for now, I'm not interested in sells just yet. I'm expecting this 1 hour candle to just pop up to fill this range here. But there won't be any buys until above here anyways. Good try. Good try, you get pips. Good try. How many viewers do you have right now? 650? What's going on, guys? Yo, how's your guys' day yesterday? I know we ended the stream at 12, but like gold came up and tapped at targets. It's crazy though. One day we actually stay late, we get the move. Like we actually got the whole push on gold on stream. I guess that came with experience as well. Like I knew volume was gonna come in based off of price action. Based off of price action closing above those ranges, right? Like my analysis yesterday had nothing to do with fundamentals at all. Nothing at all. It was just a coincidence that right at 11 at 12ish we got some more Ukraine and Russia news that drove price up on gold, but there was nothing good news at all. That was in my analysis yesterday. What's the most pissed caught on stream? I think like a year ago probably, when we caught like 100 and something pit runners on stream. On stream, like it's kind of just a closed window, 6:30 to 9:30. Like what can you really catch, right? And for the most part last year we ended the stream at like 8:30 9 a.m. so like a 2.5 hour stream every day. But now we're staying till 10 and we're catching a lot more moves. It flew once you guys hopped off. No, it flew already. It just flew like we expected a flat. I think like we hopped off around I broke it down on stream. We hopped off around here 11 and then or 12 right here. And at 12, look what happened. Where did price close at 12? It closed above the range. Right here. And then look left, you just had clean traffic to like next resistance. So like yeah, this was expected to fly up still, but I was just done for a day. I was out of it. That was it. I was okay with missing out on this range. I was okay with missing out on 100 pips. I was happy with my 10. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of guys caught them. What up, Marcos?
What's up?
No Wicks today, man. Just me and you.
Oh, what happened?
He's going to Dallas.
Ooh.
There's a little one. I think he's going to Dallas and he's gonna come back tonight. So I've never traveled like that before, where you leave and you come out the same day, go to a different city and you come back. I've never done that. On a plane. Did you read books for trading? No. No books. All, I guess you can say, forward testing and online education. Made it my own. No books. I don't think books really help me, to be honest. Like I can read a book and just like cool. Oh wait, Wix, you're coming back for the Asian session? 7 p.m. Wow. 12-hour trip. Not bad. But yeah, no books for me. I think Marcus read books, but did you read books? Trading books?
We're trading in the zone.
Trading in the Zone. Everybody reads Trading in the Zone, I swear. Every time I ask someone, like, yeah, I read Trading in the Zone. It's a good book.
Yeah.
Mark Douglas.
Not gonna make you a better trader. Tell you that.
Like, books help with psychology. But in terms of like, because you can read all you want, you can do all you want, but if you don't apply the same principles on the charts and you don't practice, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Just how it works.
I mean, it basically tells you don't overtrade.
I never read the book, so I thought it's about price action, like trading in the zone. No.
No, it's psychology. It's like don't overtrade, don't over leverage, peace and love. That's pretty much that's like the whole premise.
Peace and love.
Like don't revenge trade. Like it's pretty much what we say every day. But it's a really long and drawn out book instead of just like knowing what it's about.
To be honest, chat, like how many of you guys have read like a book, Trading in the Zone, and it made no difference to your trading after? Yeah,
It should help some people.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it helps some people, but some people expect to read a book and just like be profitable after. It's not always how it works. I don't know. It comes down to just whatever you want to consume, you know? Like, if you're a book reader and you like reading books and it helps you with trading, then by all means take advantage. But
That's what I remember what I said last week or 2 weeks ago. I was like, read a book about economics. That'll help you.
finance,
Guaranteed.
economics.
Yeah, you learn about economics and stuff and world politics. That'll help more than a book about telling you not to overtrade. Like, yeah, trading in the zone is basically what, like, you're a losing trader. You read Trading in the Zone. It tells you that you're a fucking loser, and then you're back to being a loser after, and you're like, shit. Someone say book. Go download the playbook.
Yeah, get the playbook.
Bible stick.
This is the only book. This is the only book I need. Book that I made for myself. The playbook. Let's get straight to the point, guys. I gotta start working on that Baby Pips DVS. Marcus, we gotta start working on that. I gotta start typing
What is it?
our Baby Pips course basically.
Very long, yeah.
That's gonna take months. I think I'm gonna do like a bit every week
Yeah.
and have an editor or something, like have a very good editor come in, just fix everything up for us. I think once we have that out, it'll be a lot easier for people. It'll be so dope. Convert playbook to printer friendly. Oh, like the white version? The light version? I mean, yeah.
It's a good idea. Get a psychologist. Trauma impacts your trading. I completely agree. I wonder how much a psychologist is.
Trauma impacts your trading. Yeah, I got trauma from using fibs. Good morning, Uncle Ted. Oh, there you go. Nice. 1 hour breaking the lows. Or 3rd-minute breaking the lows. Which now looks like, guys, that we should be approaching this 1 hour low here at 1925. So, I mean, I did mention I wanted sells below 1916 earlier, but I believe sells in this range is valid as well. So I'm gonna wait for this 1 hour close though in 40 minutes before I actually take sells. I'm gonna wait to this 1 hour 8 AM opening. I really want to see this 1 hour close. I think the third minute count's gonna close in about 10 minutes here. Let's see. This support is pretty heavy. 1925.304. What's the difference between your baby pips and baby pips? Well, our baby pips will just be like our way of trading. We'll be everything out for free. Like, just it'll be on text though, all on text. Our strategy, our whole entire concept. And baby pips is just like baby pips. You know, it has baby pips has like almost every strategy out there, I think. But this is just be strictly our way of trading. So it's more constructed for the community. Yo, Margaret, are you looking for sells below 1925 here? 304.
I would need a 1 hour closure as well.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the 4 hour wick. It's all the way down at 419.15. And you get this 1 hour closure that would already confirm breaking the lows with the 1 hour sell replay. Clean traffic as well. But 40 minutes is a long time.
Yeah. Long time. This 1 hour can just do anything. I'm surprised, like, after this last hourly candle closed above this support and the next hourly candle closed bullish, I'm surprised this hourly candle just didn't pop up. I think we're gonna spend a lot of time today in this range. It's not bad of a range though. It's like 100 pips. There's nothing, there's no like confirmation of anything right now, guys, whatsoever. It's like similar to what we had yesterday. I really thought Juju was gonna give us a fake out at 7 a.m. earlier. You saw the 4 kind of no bond wick, and then the 1 hour kind of just came down, looked like it was gonna break the lows and just reject that support. The only thing you can fill a 1 hour candle wick on what pair? Gold? You mean this wick? I mean, if it breaks below, if the 1 hour candle breaks below this this bullish candle here, you can probably see it drive down towards 1816. Yeah, I can probably expect it to fill a wick, but I'm not gonna be comfortable taking positions on sellers just yet until one, you have this 1 hour candle closing below the support in 37 minutes, or two, you get closures below like 1916 coming down towards like 1908. But yeah, I would expect it to drive down if it breaks the 1 hour low. Yeah, but it just comes down to comfortability.
We won't even be able to. It'll be tough because there's 8:15 news.
Yeah, 8:15 news too. That's in an hour, right? Yeah, an hour.
At the hourly closure, we have 8:15 news and 9:30 speech, and then 10 a.m. speech. A lot of news today. Jesus.
You're looking at 9:30 here, or 8:30. Sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, the daily's still technically bullish, and it came down, made the bottom like tapped support. So I think news will give us a direction.
So seriously, gold has been nuts. The only thing closing at 20 pips is something that would be better because stops are mental. Yeah. I mean, sometimes like yesterday I wanted 20 pips, right? But I think we got. What happened yesterday? Oh, I think yesterday we got like 15, 10, and then we closed partials, and then the rest just hit break even. I don't know. I can't really.
Last week we had like 30 pip stops, and we caught like 70 pips. Like, it depends on the trade. Every trade's different. Because last week when the stream crashed, we got 70 on the sells.
Yeah.
Gold was nuts. Gold was more nuts than it is now.
Like yesterday, like Michael said, it depends on the situation. Like yesterday when we tapped like that 10 pip mark, the reason why we closed partials there was because we tapped the minor resistance. We tapped this area right here. So we got on this candle right here, and we got out partials. We closed half at like 1928 because there was a minor resistance area, but it had nothing to do with like how big the range was. Like the idea behind the trade was that this 1 hour candle closed above, and looking left, you had clean traffic until like, what was it, 1943, right? That was our TP. But we managed risk by using the smaller time frame, by taking advantage of the smaller time frame resistance, and that was here.
Yeah, it's all situational. I mean, I've seen us close half at like 7 pips, and I've seen us close half at 25 pips. It really is situational. Oh, Ted wants the Zoom link.
Yeah, I got it.
We're back.
I got you, Ted. Yeah, let's have a chat today because Wixnut's not here today.
Wickstein is getting substituted out.
Wixnut's getting substituted by Uncle Ted today.
Yes, 6th man of the year.
Wixnut's still in here, I think. Oh no, he's on a plane. He left. Damn.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
We got a big issue right now with gold. If you go to the hourly section, this is our problem right now. Just zoom out just a bit more.
Like that?
This whole issue right here. The reason why I say that is that's a huge zone and it's basically crossing each other. So what it looks like, you have this wick here, and then this wick here. Sorry, not that wick, wrong one. It's this wick right over here. This one right here. So effectively what's happened is we've created, this is a massive confliction of zones, right? So you have in one point, right, you had this here, this is rejection, right? To go down. Then this one right over here was a continuation of the drop. And now over here, this is unknown, right? So the problem is you have a challenge with regards to where we are in this zone. So you're going to have to base it on several factors. The first one is, you know, we've had a bullish ascent up, but today is more of a pullback, which is, you know, obviously exhaustion from just the spike up. And when people trade gold, they have to realize that when you have 40, 50, 60 pip moves up in one direction, it's very rare that you're going to get that continuation the next day. There's going to be a bit of a breather. So that's what's happening here. And this is where a lot of traders will lose tons of money, because what you're trying to do is you're saying, okay, well, I'm going to follow the trend. And, you know, obviously the daily candles are showing me the trend is bullish. Today's candle is a bit of an exhaustion. So I'm going to try and buy sort of the rejection. And what ends up happening is the challenge becomes, how deep is this rejection going to be? But more importantly, how is the next daily candle going to form, right? Because essentially, if you look at your daily candle right now, you have a wick that you've dropped into, I think it's right now, back into 1913, right? So you can say, okay, perfect. We got the dip that we needed to then grab more liquidity to continue going back up. But the challenge becomes, when is this liquidity move, if we are going to continue up, when is it going to stop? Like, so the idea would be then to say, okay, if I want to take positions, I need to either take positions above this area over here or below this area over here. But this area here, you know, on the descent, I would err on the side of caution because of the fact that we don't know how deep we can go. The challenge will be, okay, what is the news related to gold going to, you know, how are we going to impact? So you have, you know, obviously USD high impact. I think we have ADP today. You have obviously war tensions. So gold up if things escalate, obviously. Gold down if there's ceasefire. All right. I think I spelled that right. So those are sort of things that you need to watch out for with trading gold. So, you know, there's a comment made, well, you know, if the wick's going to fill, or, you know, this candle has no upper wick or lower wick, you have to understand what story is being said right now. So obviously, from yesterday, we had that huge pullback. The other thing is too, the push up yesterday was throughout the afternoon of the North American session, right? So that's when obviously the European sessions closed. So there is a possibility that we are driving down one more time to grab more liquidity to go further up. Your best play right now will be to probably wait till after 8:15 a.m., even 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Wait a bit to see how market structure sets up, and truthfully take positions above this area, because I think if you get involved in this area here, you're just going to get washed around. I don't think there's any real direction, and I think if you're trying to call a direction in this area, you're going to get burned. And what I mean by clear direction is you need to have a candle closing in this area here or in this area here. You can't have it, and this is where people get burned again, is what they'll do. Sorry, just let me erase some of this stuff here. What'll end up happening is what people will do is they'll say, okay, perfect. Well, Ted said this is a zone. So if we are continuing in this zone, I can place my stop loss here. I can take buys here, and then I can continue to drive up. And I say, well, no, because what can happen in this area here is you can effectively have a lot of just consolidation, right? And you can have a lot of what people call fake outs, where what you'll see is a wick to the downside here, a drive up, and then the next candle rejects up here and then starts to drive down. And then you say, oh, well, now we have downside, a rejection to the downside. Now I think that we're going down. And then what ends up happening is the next candle, and this is where, people start talking about the candle forms no wick. It now just drives down straight, right? It does one of these things, but what that's doing is there's no candle, or there's no wick to the upside. So what ends up happening is this candle that started like this with no upper wick ends up starting to look like this. It will start to
Flip.
do something like that. Exactly. This will start happening, right? And then it matches up with this area here to go back into that zone here. Similar to, you can see a small example of what's happening here, right? So you had this, this hour candle, and you're like, oh, perfect, rejection wick, we should drop down. It basically stopped right at this zone, and then you had this next candle that dropped down. So you're saying, oh, perfect, now we're going to continue to fill this wick, and you're not, right? So now what'll happen is the next candle will pop up a bit and then start to drive down, and then the next candle has no wick, and then you're like, oh, sweet, rejection, and then we start to move back up, but we're still playing within this zone. So this is a key idea, an important idea, is if you're going to play with the hourly time frames, you clearly have to wait for pull out of here. And what I want to see is I want to see a candle out of the zone and then driving up, right? I want to see that we're leaving altogether out of that. And it might be that you miss this move because of the fact that there might be just one candle that'll pull up. But what you can do is now you can compare what's happening over here in the next little area, right? So you can see that there was a little bit of support created here to drive up. So chances are there'll be a bit of support again to drive up through there. And then obviously you're topping out over here. And then you can look over here further up on the upside if we do continue up, because now essentially this whole pool over here has grabbed liquidity. So we know that we have enough orders in this area here to then take orders over here further up at that point. That's sort of the story that you want to tell, is you want to say, okay, this is a huge pool of liquidity right now. This is a huge pool of liquidity. The more times that we tap into this liquidity, so the more times we go down into it, the better it is to break above this area here. So it's better, it will have more power to break above. Whereas you could see yesterday, we really didn't have a lot of rejection out of it. So, we topped out over here as an example. So if you look on your higher time frame, we came down, drove up, and then now we've come back down. So, this is your high. So today, dropping back into this liquidity, we should drive further up past that on the higher time frame. So you put that whole story together. So hopefully that'll give you guys some assistance there. And obviously I can be wrong, but I mean, it makes sense in my mind that that's the story that I'll wait. And that's why I'm saying I'm not taking positions yet, because I really don't like where we are in this area. Really, the headlines will be watching the war tension and sort of ADP. If it's decent, if it's bad, obviously gold's going to shoot up, and it would make sense with the current story on the daily that, you know, anything above 1929 is probably going to be a nice buy to the upside. And then obviously anything above 1944, that's your golden goose, because at that point the daily candle will have flipped bullish.
Yeah, I had like a very similar like analysis that I was looking for buys like the same areas above like 1933 here. Push up.
Yeah, that's a safe area, because then you're going into a new zone, and you won't have any issues there.
Yeah, I think whatever's like below like these areas are gonna be very tough. Like until like maybe you break 1915, 1914, you might see a push down towards like 1910. But yeah, it's gonna be very tough until you break 933. My only issue is like the weekly time frame still could still flip at any given point. Because last week I noticed that we kind of closed like rejecting this resistance back into the range here. So I believe at any point this kind of could just flip to drive. But I think for us to drive, we're gonna need something to push price, like a catalyst or something towards the support level down here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. My initial thought was the way that everything played out, that, you know, obviously gold would drive up this week and ADP and NFP would pull it back down. But I think what'll end up happening is what I said similar to last night, is the war tensions will probably negate any sort of bearish movement with gold. So even if NFP comes out positive or ADP comes out positive, it'll be a short-lived drop, and the upside will be the bigger move. The only way I see that gold dropping more will be as if, you know, the tensions in the Ukraine and Russia leave, and it sort of dies down.
Yep. Yeah, it's the weekly. Yeah, but the thing is like the daily is just Mooner, just the daily is just, it has no top wick, and at any given point, like yesterday I said, like we closed above these ranges here at any given point today, we can just flip bullish to drive up, right? So not, like what you're trying to do now is just you're trying to figure out like, how we're gonna flip and what's gonna lead price to flip and bullish on the daily here.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, people, you know, you're coming here and people are looking for an exact trade. It's like, the idea is put yourself in a position where you have multiple ideas and write them down if you have to, or set them up on your charts and execute based on those. You'll have a higher success rate because you'll have already prepared, you'd already planned for either scenario. And I think a lot of new traders and traders in general, people don't like the idea of having two options. They want to be able to be right 100% of the time. Yeah. And that's sad, because you're, like I said yesterday, is you're doing analysis. Analysis means, okay, what are my ideas and how can I execute on those ideas? And I think if you're a trader, you should remove your ego in the sense of, well, I think gold's going to go to 1890 or gold's going to go to 1950. It's like, don't do that to yourself. Don't put yourself in a box where you think you have to be right, because you're not impressing anybody by being right, because nobody's right 100% of the time. And in addition to that, you will miss a lot of information on the charts if indeed you are wrong, because you didn't leave yourself with an open mind at that point. It's just super important for people not to have this ego. And I don't know where it comes from, because truthfully, you should be super humble in the markets, and you should be happy. People, like Don, that do these live streams, provide guidance and just ideas so that you can sort of match up against your own, or take bits of information to assist you with those ideas. It's just people, they want to prove something to someone, and it just doesn't make sense in my mind. I don't think there's anything to prove. The idea is capital conservation and making sure that you're not blowing your accounts by ego driven trades because, oh, gold has to do this because this is what so and so said, or this is what I see on the charts, and this is a wick, or this is a zone, and this has to break. It's like, no, give yourself a probability and assign values to where you think things are going to move. Obviously, we believe gold is bullish right now because we can see on the higher time frames. So probability dictates, gold will continue to move up. How it's going to move up, this is what we have to anticipate. And, we sort of just give ideas to have a sense of, okay, if this happens, then we react to this. And it's the easiest way to trade. And it removes ego. It's so straightforward. Anybody who tries to tell me that they got a sniper entry, or they were able to get this 300 pip move because they knew gold was going to reverse, and it's like, you know what, you don't have a large enough sample size to tell me that you've done that. If anyone's done 10,000 sniper entries, let me see your win rate. Nobody will show that, because they know that there's been times where, oh, this is a zone, it has to reject, it just keeps moving. I've watched it happen myself so many times, where I've seen people do that, where they've said, oh, it's a sell now, and I'm like, why don't you just wait for confirmation? Because think about this is the one takeaway that people should keep with them. If I can tell anybody one thing, is this: a trend is not going to be just one day. Okay. So think about this, just as the easiest thing to write down on a piece of paper and remind yourself: a trend is not going to be just one day. It's going to be multiple days. And you can just look on a chart and look at your daily candles. You'll always see that if it's a trend, it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 candles in a row going in one direction. So you're never going to miss a significant portion of a bigger move, if that's what you're looking for, if you're following the trend. You're going to screw yourself over when you try and jump in too early, because you're not smart enough as a retail trader, and you don't have enough knowledge or information behind you as a retail trader to make those assessments. And if you can just stick with the idea of, when it's been said here before, coming in second place, getting into the middle of the trend and riding it to like 3/4 of the end of the trend, you'll always be successful. Do not call tops and bottoms. That's the easiest thing you can do.
Yeah, it's like there'll be so many times where I see on Instagram as well, like people just be getting sniper entries, and you see the sniper entry, but they don't show you how many attempts they took.
Yeah, and it's all for the gram. It's all for, essentially just ego, right? Because what do people post? People post a lot of things, and they want validation, right? The first thing people do is they get something brand new, and what do? They throw it on the internet saying, hey, look what I just did, or this is what happened, right? And it's a lot of ego driven, but more importantly, it's a lot of people are just selling things too, right? It's like, oh, here's my signal. I gave this signal out to my group the other day, and it went up 4,000 pips, right? And my signal is $150 a month. Come join me. But meanwhile, it's like, is that an actual depiction of what's happening? Truthfully, I think the gold mine if you wanted to actually build a business, would be for you to do a signal service review. If someone created a website, this is what you would do: is you'd create a website, grab everybody's signals, and post the results unbiasedly on that website, and you'd be surprised how many signals blow up. We did that on Trader's Domain. I asked for signal service providers to put their stuff up there, and we would do it. Nobody wanted to do it. And it's because they're not as accurate as people think. They only show one side of the coin. They don't show the losing trades. They only show winning trades.
Well,
there's been no signal.
This community can vouch for the last few months of Don signals.
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not paying for them, right? Like, you're coming here, you're doing the stream, and you're not really paying for signals, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. And it's sort of like Raja's stream. It's like you can go on Raja's stream or anyone else's stream and you'll see a lot of good information, but people aren't paying for this service, right? Don isn't saying at the end of the stream, oh, if you want more information, pay me like $300 a month for this, right? It's like you could come here, learn for free, and he doesn't care. It's sort of the mantra behind the live stream was, if you want more information and you like what's happening, yeah, support the person doing the live stream and purchase what they're doing. But there's never been a push to be like, hey, you need to go do other things to supplement what you're doing, or this, you can't just learn with this. A lot of people just have that thirst for knowledge, and they're like, hey, I like what this guy's doing, I resonate with him, so I'm gonna jump on there and do that. It's just the people that are just straight trying to sell you, where they'll say, oh, I have a question. It's like, oh yeah, so sign up for my course,
Yeah,
and I'll teach you. That's the where it becomes a challenge at that point.
Yeah, well, if you put in enough time, you could go through the entire channel and essentially get the entire course for free. Just put it together like a puzzle.
Oh yeah, but then think about it. How many people actually are going to do that? Because people are lazy.
Yeah, very few.
I'll say a good like 5-10%.
Yeah, and then
that's generous.
And then that's the next notion is, if people are willing to pay for a service, who are you not to offer it?
Yeah.
Right, like that's where, like, I always laugh with, because there's all this, people always walk around and say, oh, there's fraud, or this is a scam, that's a scam. It's like, it's not. People are paying and they're receiving information. Because you don't believe it's valuable, or you didn't get anything from it, doesn't mean it was a fraud or a scam. It just means that it didn't resonate with you. The person offered you a course, they gave you the course or whatever they gave you, that's what their duty was, right? Like, everyone's so quick to criticize or to comment on things like that. And it's funny, I laugh, because it's like, if this person was so bad, how did they get, like, I don't know, 1,000 people registering for their course, or 500 people subscribing to their signals, right? Like, it's counterintuitive, like, and it's always like one or two people that are trying to say, well, this person took my money. It's like, well, did they give you what they were supposed to give you? Yeah, well, that's all that they can offer you. Like, that's what you paid for. It's like, you go to McDonald's, you buy a Big Mac, it's like, you can't complain afterwards that you didn't get a salad. Like, it's like, that's what you paid for.
Truth.
Well, that, and the fact people just don't know how to apply information either. They just always feel that it should be a cookie cutter approach.
People want handouts. That's all that is.
That was my biggest mistake when I taught people how to trade, was I just expected people to understand that this is a very subjective thing, and it's going to take a lot of understanding beyond just reading a book or doing straight analysis. It's more of like, you have to be able to apply knowledge. And I just think people, they don't want to accept that. They don't want to take that on. And that's a tough part. And they're not honest with themselves. And then they just deflect and blame someone else for the problems that they've had. And I've always seen that with people, is, they're ready to blame the person that's trying to help them first, instead of looking at themselves going, hey, I don't have time to put in the work. I don't understand what I'm trying to do. This is not really what I was supposed to be working on, or, this is not really my cup of tea. I'm doing this for the wrong reasons. I'm doing this because I want to get rich. I'm not doing it because I actually enjoy math or finance or economics. I'm doing this because I see an easy way to make fast money. And it's like the total opposite.
When did you stop mentoring? 2018, 2016?
Yeah, 2018 I stopped. Yeah, 2018, 2019. 2018 I think was my last intake. And then I just work with people regularly.
What would you say the amount of people if let's say out of 10 do you think are still like trading today?
I would say so there's like a couple of camps. So I would say 3 out of 10 are doing this on a regular basis, right? That are trading full time. And then I would say another 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 are what I call dabblers. Like they'll trade for a bit, you know, something will happen, they won't trade anymore, they'll come to it and they'll come back. So I would say like 70% of people are still involved in FX in some case. And then I wouldn't say 30% failed. I would say 30%. I would say let's say this. I would say maybe 20% of people failed altogether, like they just couldn't do it. And then I would say another 10% realized that this wasn't for them, but the knowledge that they got by understanding who they are propelled them into other business opportunities. So it wasn't a loss. Like they took my FX course, I taught them, I worked with them daily. They just couldn't get it, but it taught them different life skills that they applied to something that they were actually passionate about. And this was sort of a stepping stone for them. And a lot of people have said that they're like, that was like the best $300 I spent, because I wanted to learn Forex and get rich and do really well. I couldn't do it. You gave me all the information, you were supportive of everything that I wanted, and I found something that worked for me based on that, and now I'm successful. And I wouldn't have found that because I didn't learn the proper principles of learning in general to begin with before I sat with you. And that's sort of what's happened with a lot of people, is they've learned more outside of trading based on just working with a group, working with ideas, than trading themselves. And I think that's a lot of people, you can resonate with that. And the other thing is too, trading part-time is not a failure. And that's the other thing. A lot of people still have their full-time job and they use trading to supplement their income. And I don't consider that a failure. That's great, because you know that you can sit and trade maybe once a week, twice a week, make a couple $100, and it pays a bill. It pays for something. It's similar to like when I play poker. I have friends that play professional poker that play all the time. I'm a recreational player, but I have a skill set that they've taught me where I can go and play recreationally when I want and beat the game. Like I know I can win at a certain game. And I think there's a disconnect there as well, where people think because they're working full time that they've failed as a trader because they're trading part time. And it's like, oh, it's all good. Like you can definitely, learn how to trade, and not do it full time, and not have the stress of, sitting here trying to make $1. And if you don't make $1, you feel that you're not going to have any food to eat the next day. Like there's no big deal there too. But people, it's the internet, it's social media. They've conditioned people to think that if you're not a full-time trader and you have a job, you're basically useless and you failed as a trader. It's the farthest thing from the truth. The best thing you can do as a trader is understand your limitations and adapt. So if you want to take away as a new trader, is there's going to be instances where you just don't understand something, and that's okay. Like be okay with the fact that you don't get something, or it's not working as fast as you think it's supposed to work. But it's more of a realization. The more you are honest with yourself, the better off you're going to be as a trader.
I think the issue with that as well is people then just add unnecessary pressure to themselves to become a full-time trader. And like when they add pressure to themselves, it's like in trading it never goes right, because they're just going to be foaming some trades and foaming some positions throughout the week and trying to make up for their income, right?
And think about it this way: what's the first thing people do as new traders, right? They go tell their friends, "Hey, I'm a trader. Like, I look at me. This is what I'm doing, and I made X amount of dollars this week, right?" So that's the first mistake people do, right? The first thing people do is they seek exterior validation, right? So you make $1,000 or $500 this week, and what's the first thing you do? You go tell your friends, "Hey, we're going to go pop bottles because I just made $500 trading FX. Look how easy it was."
So,
And then what ends up happening is your friends ask you the next week how you did, and you've lost $200. Are you going to tell them that you lost $200? No, because what's going to happen is they're going to turn around and be like, "See, told you, it was just luck. The first week you made $500 was luck. Now the reality is setting in." And then all the quotes will come out. "Oh, did you know 90% of people lose all their money trading? FX is a scam. This doesn't work. All this other stuff." So you've already now set yourself up for a bigger failure because of the fact that you've gone and seeked external validation instead of saying to yourself, "Hey, I'm just going to stick to my craft. I'm going to keep my wins and losses to myself. And if I have a couple extra dollars, yeah, you know what? I did well this week. I'll put it away, or, maybe I'll go celebrate." But then when I take a loss, I don't have to worry about who I need to impress about the loss or what I need to talk about. But people can't do that. It's not in human nature. It's a conditioning, and it's a reformatting of your mind to be like, don't celebrate anything. Don't tell anybody about your personal business. If you're making 10,000 a week trading FX, people ask you what you do. "Hey, I've got a good job. I'm in finance, whatever." But don't tell people your wins, because they're going to constantly ask you, and subconsciously you're going to have that pressure. You're going to have that pressure to perform because you're going to want to keep up with them and say, "Oh, I did this, I did this, I did this," because you want them to keep validating you that you're on the right path. At the end of the day, you are the only one that is going to be able to validate yourself. No one else can validate what you're doing. There's always going to be people that are going to be successful being the lone wolf, right? You're going to have a group of friends, and out of 10 or 20 friends, one of them is going to be a doctor, right? It doesn't mean everybody's going to be a doctor, but you celebrate that person that they achieved what they wanted to achieve. But at the end of the day, you know just do things in silence. Really focus and just work in silence, and you're going to feel there's going to be no pressure, because the day that you have a bad day trading, nobody's going to know, and it's just going to be you, and you're going to review your trades. You're going to feel like you're down in the dumps anyways. You're just going to be able to move on from that a lot easier than telling your mom and dad and your brother or your friends. Because the first thing people say to me is, "Oh, well, I have to take care of my family and support my friends or support my mom and dad because, they helped me when I was younger and now they need help. So I need to learn how to trade." And it's like, man, I'm sorry to say, but your family survived without you trading. They're going to continue to survive without you trading. Or the other one I get is, in my country, it's hard to make money. It's hard to find a job. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the reality of life. Doesn't mean that you become a trader, right? Like, there's a reality speaking. It's just people look at it and they're like, this is their only out in life. That if you don't become a trader, then basically your whole life's over. And it's the farthest thing from the truth. The world is going to put you in a position where you need to be, and it may not necessarily be trading, but to say, well, the only way I can make income in my country is to become a trader is absolutely ludicrous. And I know people always say that, or if I don't support my family, we're not going to be able to eat. And it's like, well, I think you have bigger problems if no one in your family can support each other, right? Like, it's beyond trading at that point. Like, there's a lot more that has to be done, and I think people have to stop feeling sorry for their families or their situations, and they have to look at options other than trading to get to where they need to be. And yeah, it might mean taking a crappy job, earning $3 an hour or whatever just to get by, but it's something, right? Instead of trying to kill yourself in something that 90% of people fail, right? Like, put yourself in a position where you can win, not where you're putting yourself constantly up against a wall.
Yeah, something I noticed for me was like before I've been trading for 4 years, and it took me longer than others to be consistent. And I think as soon as I had an outside business that I could support myself with, my trading like it just all clicked. And it was because I didn't have the pressure to like see money and make money from trading. And as soon as I had money that I could support myself, I didn't actually need the trading money. My trading got better, ironically enough. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people is they're focusing and relying on trading to think that that's going to be like their first big thing to make them income. And it's just the reality. It doesn't work like that for most people. I would say 99% of people.
Oh, 100%. Agreed. It's just a fallacy. People just love the internet so much that they believe everything they see on the internet.
Real quick,
Imagine-
congrats on everyone's counting down for you. 1K viewers.
Oh shoot, 1K viewers. Yeah, 6 more. Yeah.
Nine. We got news in 14 minutes here.
Yep. I think they're expecting good numbers for $1. I'm not sure how much of an impact this will make.
It's been weird.
I'd be careful with that because the last NFP, they skewed the numbers so well that it had to be positive. So just be aware of that they're making it so that it has to be positive no matter what number shows up. So the institutional impact still may be negative. So just for because people a lot of times will ask me is like, NFP was positive, why did gold go up, right? And it's like, well, and in this case, it's ADP. It's like ADP was positive. Why did gold go up? It's because even though the numbers were good, they weren't good enough for the market to accept the fact that, the US economy is doing better. So just something to keep in mind.
Damn, Trevor hit 1,000. Thank you. Appreciate you being here today. Hope you guys are getting some value from today's stream. Definitely value of a Ted here.
Yeah. Well, just doing my thing, so I figured I'd stop by.
Nah, y'all feel free to stop by whenever. So are you trading every day? Like you show up to NY every single day, or is this depends on how like the markets are the day prior, like on a daily and higher time frames?
The last year I've traded every day. This last year was the first year that I traded every single day in like 5 years, 6 years. I literally was in the markets every single day.
Was that because of like the volatility in the markets, or
just personal challenges, things like that? The takeaways from that was there were a lot of opportunities that I obviously exploited, but then there were a lot of opportunities that I missed because I was rigid in my work ethic. So I was showing up to yesterday was a perfect example. So we showed up yesterday and we were talking about buys, and the buys only came like at like 11 a.m. like 10 a.m. Eastern after everything had settled. But I was in buys since 8 a.m. Eastern. So I went through that whole entire wash of up and down, right? Where like it dropped like I think 30 pips, it went back up, it dropped again. I was in that the whole time, and I was sitting there going to myself like, this is stupid. Like, why am I trading right now? Like, I should not have entered at this point. But I knew we were going to eventually go up. Like, it was pretty obvious. It just was when. And if I look back on it, I would not, if I wasn't trading every day, I wouldn't have probably taken entries there, because of the fact that I would have been comfortable with the idea of not having to trade, because the day before I did really well. But because I've sort of challenged myself to trade every day, I'm taking additional risk that I shouldn't have to. But I'm able to navigate it. So it's made me a even better trader than I am now doing that every day. But it's put me in positions where it's like, ugh, like why am I doing this to myself? So it's just something to keep in mind, where if I look at my trading over the last year, trading every day, I could probably take out 30 or 40% of the days that I traded, and I would probably have even more impressive return, because of the fact that I didn't have to squeak by with, break even wins, or, 5 pip wins, 7 pip wins.
Mm-hmm.
My mind would have been fresher to take bigger trades, hold things longer. I still had last year overall, I still had an 80% win rate, but it was at certain times, like I said, even yesterday, a struggle. It's like, oh, like I hate the idea of, being in drawdown for 2 hours because like I entered too early. Like I hate that idea, because what ends up happening is my psychology is like, as soon as I make my 2 or 3% profit, I just want to get out of the trade because I don't want to be in the markets anymore, because I'm exhausted
Yeah.
being in the markets for 2 hours, just sitting at break even, or in a bit of a drawdown. And then I watched the market move $20 yesterday, and I'm like, well, that sucked, right? But it's a mental thing for me. Like that's how I associate things mentally, is if I'm in a position for too long, as soon as I can get profit, I just want to get out, because I want to refresh, I want to recharge. I don't want to be stuck in a trade, because there's been numerous times where things reverse again, and you're like, oh, I should have taken profit. So I always keep that in mind. I don't look at the fact that like, oh, I should hold my position. It's like, I remember the 1,000 times where things have reversed on me when I've gotten into profit. So like that was my my last chance to exit. So I always take advantage of that. And it's like, I rather come to the next day with a clean slate than, thinking about what could have been the day before.
Yeah, like yesterday, like we're streaming for like I think 5.5 hours. We sat there for 4 hours waiting for a price to break out on gold, and then we ended up breaking out, and then we got 10 pips, and then that was it. Like I hit break even, and then I think what ended up happening after was price came up in there like 100, 200 pips after. I just didn't like, I didn't even bother like looking at it after. I just hopped off, called it a day, because you get drained. Like you get drained like sitting here just making decisions, and it takes a lot of energy from you.
It does. Yeah, and it's like, people always ask, they're like, oh wow, like you go through the same things I go through. It's like, well, my IG page from 2015 shows you my trials and tribulations. They still haunt me. Like I still make mistakes. My mistakes are easily recoverable, because it's like I know what I'm doing, in a sense that it's like, I know yesterday I was in a drawdown that I shouldn't have been, but I wasn't concerned because I knew the overall bias, and I was like, okay, I just have to sit back and wait a bit, because I've gone through this before. The other thing is, if I had taken a loss, it wouldn't have impacted me today. I wouldn't have turned around and been like, oh, I got to get that money back right now today. It'd have been like, yeah, okay, I punished myself because I made the mistake. Now I have to recover over the next 3 or 4 days, because that was my punishment, right? So like, I'm very logical in that sense of, if I take a loss, I know that I'm not catching it back the next day. I know that I've set myself back a week or 4 days because of that one loss in the one day. And it's not the size of the loss, it's the mental acceptance of the fact that I have to reset, and I can't go into the attitude of starting to chase. I have to be like, okay, I have to reset. And my first trades after a loss are very secure. They're very, straightforward. They're not fancy in a sense of I'm taking additional risk. I'm looking for the most optimal idea, and my risk then is at the most conservative level. So if I lose 3 or 4% in a day, the next day I'll probably make 0.5% back, because it's like the idea of getting back on the horse and slowly recouping. And I know then over the next 4 days I'll probably make maybe 5 or 6% back, and I'll be back to where I was plus a little bit more. Almost like a retracement, right?
Yeah.
Like you get a retest your low, and then you go past the high.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with trading.
It's how I look at life too.
Yeah.
Same way.
And it's what it is. And I go through the same thing everybody else goes through with, but I can deal with it in a more non-emotional way, because if I take a loss today, it doesn't impact my life. It's more of an impact on my ego. But I also know that if I made the correct decision at the time, I'm not upset about it because I know that over the long term, I will be profitable. So, if I lose, like I said, if I lose 5% today, I know that over a week, I can make that 5% back next week. I'm not concerned about it. It doesn't phase me taking a loss. What phases me is if I don't know why I took the loss. That's where I'll get upset, but it hasn't happened in so long because I've sort of seen every outcome and I sort of put myself in a position where I'm not chasing the market. I'm letting the market sort of do its thing and absorbing like what's happening. Like right now, like gold is starting to pull up a bit. So chances are it's going to drop. So if ADP comes in good, I know that there's potential entries below, say, I don't know, below 1826, and I know I can probably get to 1821, perhaps, or sorry, 1926 to 1923. I know there's an opportunity there, right? So it's just a matter of saying, okay, how am I going to present this, and do I want to accept that risk or do I want to wait for it to rebound and say, okay, I'm going to keep my bias at anything above 1930. I'm going to take entries. And I know I can go from 1930 right into 1932. So I know there's an opportunity there because of the fact that we will have momentum on my side. So I got 1930. I can go from 1929 to 1933.51. Right? If I'm looking on the 15-minute charts, things like that nature. Like I already have all those scenarios in my head. So it's easy for me to recover. I see multiple opportunities in the market, and that's just from experience. Nobody can teach you that other than the market.
Guys, you have news in like 4 minutes here. I think what you need here for gold really is you're probably gonna have to wait till like 8:30 here, a bit after news, and let the news absorb. And which one is okay? Going back to what we said earlier today was you're looking for, if you want bias today, you're looking for a bias about like 1934, 1933, pushing price up to fill the rest of the range here. Like 1945 would be a target areas, right? The thing with this is like the forward candle would then be flipping at the same given time if you were to break above that range. And with the forward candle flipping, what's going to happen is it will probably lead you to the daily candle flip and bullish as well, because since your target going up once you flip on a forward candle is up here at 1945, right? Think of this as like a minor support formed here on gold, and then you have a resistance here on gold. If this forward candle flips, what's happening is we're just respecting the support. You're probably going to see price push up, fill that 4-hour range. And on the 4-hour range, you're seeing the daily candle flip at the same given price area. And then that daily candle will just lead you up towards the next daily resistance. But with news here, like anything can happen. And I just wait till afterwards. You really need that closure above them. This 1-hour candle we currently have right now it has no bottom wick. I'm expecting it to just maybe drive down to like just stay in this range for a bit, but this is a very tough area to be in. I said it earlier in the stream, like this is your toughest area, toughest range on gold for a day. You're gonna spend a lot of today's NY session within this range here. We need like a breakout. And then GJ update on that would just be I mean, I'm expecting price to drive up here, but there won't be any bias until like 154 for me. Above 154 you see until like 154 400ish. At any given point we can just break back into this range here because the daily bias is just heavily bearish today. And then what this could be happening, what this could be right now is just a top wick on a daily time frame to drive back. So if you get a fake out, that'll be amazing on GJ. Something like this is what you want them. Pros are looking for positions. I know you guys are dying in the chat for positions right now. Some of you guys are just,
salivating.
Yeah, like no bias and stop stats for me. I'm not gonna gamble.
Got 1 minute here.
Yes, sir. Let's see.
It's interesting because we've pulled up and now we're pulling back. So, I mean, I still think that if the news is, the idea is if the news is bad, that's really good for us because that'll continue your bias of the daily candle starting to move forward. If the news is good, like I said, I don't think it's going to be long-lived. I think it'll be short-lived. I think we'll drop into that wick at like 1921, 1916, 1918, and then it'll pull back again. I think so. If you really want to be a cowboy, you basically take entries in 1916, put a stop loss at 1913, and take buys and say, okay, we're going to reject that area.
Here we go.
Or it might not do anything. Who knows? Let's see. Looks like price isn't moving. Might take a bit to come in here. Let's see how numbers came out.
Mine aren't loading.
I'm in. Good thing about this, guys, is it's at 9:15 here, so like we can still take positions at 8:30 if we get closures. We don't gotta worry about it being the last 15 of the hourly. Like let's say news will be at 8:30, we're gonna have to wait for like the 15-minute candle close, and then it's the last 15 of the 4-hour candle. Then you gotta wait till 9:15, 9:30. I should take positions with NYSE open, but since it's at 8:15, you still have that. You still have that 8:30 position if you do close. Yeah, looks like we're not doing anything here. Wow.
Your numbers load?
No. Horse Fact is kind of slow though. It might load on my FX book or FX Street. Yeah. Gold is just very impacted by the Ukraine and Russian news right now. I don't think ADP would do much here. My dog pressed the buy button. I remember that. How do you get your dog press the buy button? Better than expected? Really? I'm expecting this 1-hour candle to create a bottom wick though. Expecting this to come down, maybe tap like 1825 here. And then from there, we'll see what happens. If it flips bearish, you might see like a little wick fill here. But just be careful on the sells here. It's very tough, especially if you're just respecting this 1-hour support. Look left here. Look at how many times we've rejected the support. This is like the 4th time, 3rd time. Rejection, rejection, rejection. We've never gotten closure below here. And looking left as well, like this is a pretty heavy resistance as we never closed above the range. Looking left too. So just be careful here if you're looking for sells. I wouldn't. I'll stay out until like maybe 1916 breaks below there, or even like 1913 coming down towards like 1908. It's far away.
Yeah, it was better than expected, but not that great. It's like 475, and the estimate was 388.
Yep. Should have filled this wick here. Why did I go reject that last hourly candle? Where's my mouse frozen? Because we knew that there was a support formed there. Like there was a support formed, but there was no confirmation for us to drive up. Again, this range is very tricky here. It's a very tricky range. You really want buys to be above here. Like anything in this range, like anything can happen. We could have just rejected. We could just range for the whole entire session. Who knows, right? It's a very choppy range. It's not as clean. I think the better direction to take was above this that resistance above there. As well, like also like the I guess the 4 count is bearish as well, but I don't know.
Good morning, guys.
Bob Charles. What's up?
Yeah, so this is a perfect example of where the high impact news doesn't have any real impact because of the fact that there's overriding issues that are bigger than what the current economic impact is. So this is a good lesson where it's like people are like, oh, nothing really happened. It's like, yeah, because there's overriding issues that are way bigger than just ADP payroll.
Yep. I mean, NFP is on Friday too. See how that goes. I'm a Cowboy, so I put buy limits at 1916, 1915, 1914. Yeah, it's a decent support level. Pretty decent. I'm not really a Cowboy like that though. Yeah, I think once it breaks the 30-minute low, like right now, you should probably see it come down towards 1922-ish levels here. We'll be re-breaking the 1 hour lows, and then you may see it just push further down, 22-ish minor support there. I think it comes down to, like, if this 30-minute candle closes like below 1925, it comes down to how this 4 hour candle closes here. This 4 hour candle could close in any direction with 39 minutes left, and it can happen. But I'll prefer to close out this range here, either below this support or either above this resistance here. If it closes in this range, it's just a messy area. It's just like, it's kind of like, for me, I'll call it indecision level, where price doesn't know what it wants to do yet, and you kind of need a breakout outside of that range. Confirmation that we're going to drive up, or a confirmation that we're going to reject to continue down, right? Because if you close below that 4 hour range, look left, we're probably going to drive down to fill the rest of the 4 hour range, coming down to fill the bottom of the range at like 1900, 1905. But if you break above, you're seeing like 1945, 1950 with the daily bias being bullish. And for me, like, I'll prefer buys. So obviously I want this count to just reject, close above the support.
Yeah. Like a fake out, come down.
Yeah. Did we tap 22 just now? Yeah. Very tough. Yeah, Jack Fung, going back to what you said earlier, like, the reason why I'll say, like, now that the reason why we didn't push up was, like, we're just simply below this resistance here. That was it. Like, yeah, we closed bullish, but we're still in that range. I view it as price is where it is right now because of the conflict and not due to economic numbers, hence why IDP doesn't have much weight right now. Exactly. Why was that big drop in the London session? Let's look at the daily candle. Like, look how far we closed above that resistance. Like, this daily candle was expected to create a bottom wick. We always talk about bottom wicks being created, and it could have been anywhere. It could have been here, like this minor support. Could have been, you know, like on a 4 hour time frame, other minor support levels. So I mean, it made sense to see price drive, but it doesn't mean like that's the direction for the rest of the day. Price could still shoot up today. Who knows, right? For all we know. But what I will say now is that what we need to really break out, or what we need to start getting some volume here, is you're gonna need a closure above this resistance. I think once you get like a bullish candle closure, closing outside this range, you should probably see price push up slowly towards like 1933, and then hopefully like at 9 a.m. But before the 1 hour candle closes, the 4 hour candle will then close bullish, respecting this, and close above to continue up for 9 to 10. But it comes down to this, the last 36 minutes here. Today flew by pretty quick. Ted, do you have a cutoff time for when you trade like a New York session, or just on to whenever you expect volume to die down?
Usually like I'll try and get in, like, usually, like, depending on the trends, like if 930 sort of like very choppy, I know 10 will create the direction. So I'll try and do that. But most of my positions are probably closed before 9:30 anyways. Even most times before 8:30, because 8:30 there's usually a huge reversal. So more than likely I've timed my trades to get in between like 7:45 and like 8:15 a.m. Eastern, and then just getting out in that area. But if I do have to hold, like I don't want to hold past 9:30, 10, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in profits, then I'll let it run. Like honestly right now, like I think any real clean buys above, like you said, 1930 will be sort of the better play. But I'm not, if anyone's trying to take sells right now, I wouldn't trust it. It's just, it's way too choppy. I mean, maybe the next 30-minute candle pulls up a bit and drives down, but you still have that big wick to the downside, you know, that zone from 1921 to 1913. So it's just risky. I mean, obviously if you have if you put your stops in and you're comfortable with the risk, I mean, there's no problems. It's just, for me, I don't like trying to guess that way to see that it works, right? I just rather go with something that makes sense 100%, not like, oh, I need to take a trade because we have a rejection on the hourly candle. It's like my overall thought process, it all has to make sense.
Yeah, like again, you want to come in second place, you want to see it reject, and then you want to hop on the wave.
Yeah, like even the 5-minute is just ranging in between right now 1823 and 1829, right? So if we do break out, you're going to probably break above 1829 at that point.
Thirty's gonna close in 3 minutes. What up, Charles? How's your day today?
Took 3 trades so far, I think. Yeah, 3 trades so far. Got 30 pips London session, and then another 15 pips around 5.
Oh, 5.
What bet? Yeah, then fell back asleep.
So do you sleep at all?
I do. But I'm taking this shit really seriously, and my girlfriend's helping me out. Yeah, she's waking me up when I don't wake up at my alarms.
Well, if you're taking it seriously, you should be waking up to your own alarms, no?
I am.
Yeah.
But then I turn it off, and then I go back to sleep. But it's all good. It's all good. I got my trades that I was looking for. If you look at the breakout on the all the way in the left, was it left side? No. Let's see. Where did I take this trade? Oh, okay. Here you go. Around 1937.
1937.
Yeah.
For buys or sells? What'd you do?
Buys.
Oh, over here?
Those buys. No, not there. It was in that consolidation. After
Here?
that consolidation. Yep. And then on the candle after that, doji.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Makes sense. Yeah. I think last session was a lot cleaner because I think last session you didn't have this yet. You had kind of just this. So it's kind of like, okay, well, price creator resistance here.
Mm-hmm.
And then price creator support here. It's a range form. Nice. So if we're form support, we should probably pop up top of the range. That was simple for London. But now that they come to New York, it's kind of choppy now because you're just making these ranges here.
I'm going with like what you told us you continually told us not to trade around range 2 breakouts. No, you have to wait for a range 2 breakout
To go against the bias, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, dude, this guy's right. I hate this. I am not taking sells because it kept rejecting off of the 1933.
My GG analysis is, yeah, I mean, it's kind of playing out. It's my analysis, but it's not so much of my position like that I'm comfortable taking. Like, I see it pushing up here, but it's just not enough confirmations for me to actually take a position. It's just because this forecast has no bottom wick and it's just a range 1 breakout going against the bias. Like sometimes it's okay though. It's okay to see price go a certain way, and it's okay to accept it for what it is and just live with it. Accept the fact that you might miss the move. You don't gotta catch all the positions, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. It's like, it's okay to talk about analysis and talk about ideas and not take a position.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big deal. Like, people are like, oh, you didn't take the position, you weren't confident. And it's like, sometimes everything can line up and you're just like, man, I don't feel like pulling the trigger. It's just human psychology. It's human nature. Like, we're not robots. Like, I see setups all the time and it's sort of like, man, I'm not too interested in that. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you explain range 1, range 2 breakouts? If you do exclamation point fake out in the chat, it should pop up a link to a video that explains it for you on YouTube.
Hey Ted.
Yeah. What's up?
Usually how deep is your stop loss? Do you usually have a fixed amount, or like do you go by candle and wicks?
I'm not worried about stops. I'm worried about bias. I'm worried about making sure that I'm in the right direction. I think stops are good to manage things, but it hurts you because, you know, how are you able to predict exactly where you're going to get stopped? It's more of like, am I comfortable with the current bias, like the current position? I think that's more important, is making sure you're on the right side of the bias, rather than trying to say, okay, where do I place my stops? Because, you know, it sounds bad, but your stops are like crutches, because it's like, well, you know, you manage your risk and you can control things. Yeah, I agree. But what ends up happening is, if I see a support, chances are we're going to go above that support. Like, we're not going to break below that support. So like, why am I worried about getting stopped out? Like, I should have enough confidence in my analysis that we're moving there. I'm also not risking a lot where it's going to impede me. Like, if I lose, like I said, 4% or 5%, like, it's okay. So like, I do have like a cutoff where it's like, okay, I'm done with this trade. But a lot of times, you know, your positions, if you're in the right bias, it just might take a little bit of time for it to move up. Like right now, if you look at the hourly's created support at like 1923 as an example, right? Because you can see this hourly's gone bullish. So chances are now we should start our trend all the way up. So maybe I take a position that's a little bit looser in terms of earlier, and I'm expecting us to go at least to, first stop is probably going to be around 1933. Right. So I know that we'll be able to do that. And each of my positions is maybe 0.5% or, you know, 1%. So I'm not in heavy. I'm not in for like, you know, 5 or 6% or 10% where I have to worry too much about it. I'm just trying to make sure that, you know, I manage myself accordingly. It's just tough to say, where do I place my stop or how big is my stop? Because it changes all the time based on how big my position size is.
If you don't mind me asking a bit more, like when you say, you know, you base it on bias, but bias can, you know, you might realize that you're wrong later on, and you might be in deep drawdown already, or like candle might move against you, even if you have your risk managed. How do you deal with that? Like, how do you know, at which point do you know that you're wrong with your bias and you should manage your risk?
Usually after about 6 or 7%, then I know that I'm in the wrong, and I'll pull back out. but for the most part, gold can move 20 or 30 pips, and that's not really a huge move, right? That's just maybe a quick pullback or a quick shift in direction, right? So it's just more the fact of, for the most part, because of my win rate is very high, I don't have to really worry too much about my bias being wrong. I think last year my bias was wrong twice in trades that I took overall.
Yeah.
It's just more of the fact that I don't have to, I'm just making sure that I'm always moving with, with trend, and allowing the fact that I don't have much risk open. So I'm not too concerned. Like having 3% open on my account is not a big deal. Like I'm okay with that. Even if I lose 10%, I'm okay with that, because I know in the long term I can make that back, and I don't have set goals for profitability every week or every month. Like I'm just trading because I enjoy it at this point. So it's a little bit of a different method to what I do now. Building an account, yeah, obviously, it's different because you want to have metrics and you want to be a little bit more rigid. But then it's like, okay, a lot of times then you should be under leveraging at that point, where your risk is really, really low, so you can afford to allow trades to breathe and it's not impacting you, and your wins aren't going to be big, but your losses aren't going to be big either, and you can hold trades a little bit longer. Like I still think that with gold, providing we don't break 1923, we're going to go bullish. Like that's what I think, right? So if I took positions, I'd say, okay, I want to make sure that as long as we don't break below 1923, we're okay. And then it's like, okay, well, if we do go there, how are we breaking? Is it just a wick that's going down on the 5-minute, or is there a bigger bias at that point? Right. So it's how the candles form too, right? You can see the 15-minute candle just pulled back into the range. Do we think that that's a true move? We don't know yet. We have to wait and see, right?
Another thing as well is like everyone has a different way of just managing risk too. There's no like right or wrong way, and I feel a lot of traders are just stuck on this idea of like you gotta do it this way, or you gotta do it this way, and there's no in between. There's no type of like, yeah, you're right or you're wrong, How do you know which loss size is good if you want to risk 3%? I mean, I just stick to a fixed loss as I kind of just average it out to be a 1 or 2% risk per trade. If it goes over a certain stop loss for my trade, I go half risk, or I go quarter risk, depending on how big the stops are, just so it can make up for that with 2 or 3%. This is how I do it. Some people like to just, go off just percentage wise. I don't know. Comes down to whatever you prefer. This daily on GJ here, guys, is starting to tap this minor resistance here, and like I know we only apply like the range 1, range 2 concept to like the smaller time frames, but at the end of the day, like counter candles, and you can apply it to any time frame. And looking at this 4-hour candle, with the way that we are forming here, that daily resistance being tapped right now, and this range being created here, at any given point we can still drive back into the range, especially with the previous 4-hour candle not having a bottom wick here. So like, let's see, if we could, this 4-hour candle close below this resistance here, the next 4-hour candle could at any given point drive back into this range here. So sells are valid on GJ still, but it will have to be valid below 153, 390 here. Looking left, like we're just kind of tapping into these tough ranges there. It's gonna be very difficult here too until you break above 154. I feel like everyone's just so locked in today to gold. No one's really talking about GJ, or even this week, no one's been talking about GJ.
JXTR got a good ass sell on GJ this London session.
Yeah, I saw that on a 4-hour. Yeah. Stocks aren't bad on 4 hours. Once you start aiming for structure, it could be 5 or 7 or 9 instead of 10 pips or 40 pips, whatever. When a rate increase, yeah, exactly. Like you don't gotta like there shouldn't be like a target or goal like when you haven't like that you have in trading. It should just be fluid. Like it comes down to like what makes sense on the charts. Like for instance, like there's a resistance here on gold. Like you can't force like 100 pips when you know that there's like minor levels that we gotta break through before price reaches your target. You know, and you gotta accept it for what it is. Just manage risk, and manage risk the same way you do it every single day. Stick to the plan. Stay true to the plan. And over time you come on top. Because the moment like you start saying, oh well, I should have held longer, I should have closed, like you're gonna be running in circles. And you're gonna be making emotional decisions.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the best thing that you can do as a trader is just look for a positive outcome, not wait so much on, like, don't wait. And what I mean by is like a waiting, don't put so much waiting on, you know, like the gain or whatever you did, but just the idea of like, I had a positive outcome, so this is good for me.
Yeah, like you said, like there'll be days where like you lose like, I don't know, like you said, for example, like 2%. Next day you make like 0.5%. You're okay with that because you know that you're starting to pick up momentum again, and eventually over time you're gonna end the week off with like 5, 6, 7%. It's just a retracement. Yeah, catch a piece of it and come back the next day. Like I caught 10 pips yesterday, and that whole range was like 300, 400 pips on gold, and I was okay with 10 pips break even. I was okay with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like people, it's that whole mentality of, well, I read somewhere, I read this. It's like the rules of trading are always changing. There's always updates. There's always like what worked 10 years ago probably won't work today. It's like you have to adapt and adjust your style to suit yourself, right? It's like what I said sort of with gold is I said, you know, providing we don't break 1923, you know, we should be good to go up. You could have taken a buy on the 5-minute candle and you would have made what, like 20 pips, right? And it's like, where would you have placed your stop? There was no place for a stop, but everything was pushing up and we were rejecting from the downside. So there was opportunity there. But that just comes with experience. It comes with the idea of like, I know for the most part, I've seen this happen 10,000 times. So I know that more than likely this is going to happen. And I'm not too concerned about having a stop at this point, because we said earlier today was, okay, you know what, like we're going to move in a certain direction because of the fact that, you know, the war is still more prevalent than ADP, right? And you can see now gold, the hourly candle's taking off, the 4-hour candle sort of flipped, and the daily candle starting to make a move up. So anything above 1929 was a buy. So if you had a buy stop at 1929, you're now at 1932. You're heading up to, as I said earlier, 1933. I think it's on the 15-minute. I was saying probably 1933.83. We'll probably come close to there. But you can see, like at this point, it's like you could take profits at any given time. And you know, you can look now on the 15-minute and you can look specifically at 1933, and you know this candle more than likely is going to tap right into 1933 and then potentially reject. So you decide, you say to yourself, okay, right now I want to exit because we're at 8:43 in the morning and we're like 2 minutes before the 8:45 candle. So like right now we just hit 1933. This is my exit because I know the next 15-minute candle for gold could pull back.
Yep.
It could pull back and then it wipes me out of my position. Or what I can do is I can now move my stops and accept the win where my stop is and then hope that this continues to run.
Yep.
Right. So that's sort of the idea, is like I said earlier, the specific was if you're taking buys above 1930 and your first area is 1933. And that's what we just hit.
Forex on flip 2 now too.
Yeah, and see, people are asking TED ADP is positive, why is gold moving bullish? It's exactly what we just talked about. ADP is not a precursor right now. The war is taking precedence over ADP news, right? So these are little things that people are just not even putting together in terms of, just understanding the markets and understanding what impacts the market, what has a bigger impact, right? Risk to reward is a big thing in the trader community. What are your thoughts? It's not about risk to reward. It's about making positive decisions. It's progress. It's positive progress. Stop boxing yourself in. As traders, everybody's trying to create a formula. Just work on having a positive experience in the charts every day. And whether it's, having a single win, not taking a trade because your analysis wasn't spot on, not confident in what you're doing, so taking a break. Keep reinforcing positive attributes to your trading. I didn't take a trade today, not because I didn't know what was happening. There was nothing that met my selection criteria, so therefore that's a win for me today, right? So it's things like that. You have to do that constantly. Right? And now people are like, oh, well, if gold's going to go up, what are we going to do, right? These are things that you should have already planned
Prior.
before gold was moving up, right? So you can see here as an example, the 15-minute candle pulled back to 1932. Yeah, you're probably going to get a wick fill to 1934 at this point, right? But do I want to take a trade at this point? No, because we're coming close to the hourly close. And you know that with this hour being this bullish, chances are there's going to be a pullback to then drive further up. And then where's our next level of area of interest? We move into the hourly candles and we can see 1944. 1944 is an area of interest, 1945. And you can see Don just had it up. When you look, you say to yourself, okay, well, how is this going to work on the hourly? Okay, on the hourly candle, what do I need to see? I need to see a bit of a pullback, and I need a drive to continue up. And then where's my next target? Here is my next target. Here is the next target. And then here is the next target, right? So I can map out targets in that area. Now, why are those targets? Very easily. Take a look. You can see right across here, it's all leveled off. We've rejected. You can see right across here, it's all rejected at that point, right? So we know that at any given time in this area here, there could be a rejection. In this area here, there could be a rejection. And then finally, in this area here, there could be a rejection. So those are areas that I'm watching, just like what we have right now. You can see here, there's potential areas of rejection. So you know that when you tap that area the first time, watching your smaller time frames, it might be a good time for you to get out and be like, hey, I'll wait for this to reset and then I'll let it pull back and then we'll continue going back up again, right? But this is a lot of information for a new trader, but this is how detailed you have to be. And then you say, well, which one is the rejection area? Which one is the other? They're all rejection areas. Well, then how do I trade? You do what everybody else does. We hope that we continue through these. Like we can't predict exactly what's going to happen. We just go based on probability. So what's the probability? Okay, well, let's take a look. We have all these rejection areas. Okay, we had a bullish move here. We had a bullish move here, right? So shouldn't we have a bullish move over here? More than likely, right? Because we had the bearish move down. Oh, it's not probably a good color here. Let's see.
Green.
We had a bearish move down here. We had a bearish move down here. So chances are there's going to be a bearish move over here, right? So you can start to see the patterns forming in the charts of how is this all going to play. If we do go bullish, we have our targets. If we go bearish, well, here you go, more bearish movement in that direction that way. It's just a matter of filling out what do we think is happening in these boxes? What do we think is happening in each one of these boxes to get me my idea? And it's looking at previous information to then say, okay, how is that working in the future at that point?
Yeah. You're just mapping your ideas, and as the ideas come, and if it lines up with your idea that you had previously, you execute. If the ideas don't come, you're just sitting here and you wait for your ideas to come. There's no in between. There shouldn't be any guessing. There shouldn't be any like, I think I should take a buy here. I don't know. You know, it's like wait for your ideas to come. They come, you execute. If they don't, then you simply just sit out. That's how simple trading should be. It's like every day, like we come on streams, like every time I'm marking my levels, like I'm having like maybe 2, 3, 4 ideas. Not all the time would it play out, but if they do play out, I'm on the ball.
Yeah, and the thing is, people are like, well, how would we have been able to take gold buys? Well, here you go. Remember we talked about earlier in the stream? This was your zone. So now what we can do is we can wait for the next hour candle, and we can say if the next hour candle clears this area and say it drops over to here and then starts to move up, then I know that we're going to continue. And what I can do now is I can place a potential buy stop at, say, this level as an example, if this was the candle close, and I can say I'll wait for everything to drop first and then start to recover. And as it hits my buy stop, I should have enough liquidity in the bottom of that wick to then drive me up through that, and I don't have to worry. And then and then for people that are talking about risk to reward, if I hit my buy stop and I fill up the wick, right? So this is like what, 10 pips at that point, right? You basically had no drawdown because it just flew right through it. And then your risk to reward is like basically 1 to 10. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. But it's only 10 pips, but you didn't risk anything. Like there was literally no drawdown. So you had like a nice easy trade. And sometimes that's all you're going to get as a trader. You're going to get 10 pips, but there was no drawdown. There was no need to place a stop loss. It just went right through to take profit. That's a trade. You're done. You can't say, oh, because now I have no drawdown, I can afford to hold this trade longer than 10 pips. It's like, no, you map out your target. Once you hit your target, you're done. If you're going to reevaluate during the momentum of the trade, you also have to accept the outcomes of that adjustment. So if you say, once again, I'm going to place a stop loss or buy stop here, Ted, because you said so, and you obviously know what you're doing, which is not true, but I try. You know, and then and this is your take profit. Well, I don't believe that. I think once we have this wick, we're going to drive up over here. We're going to go past this. If you do that, then you are risking your initial idea and your initial profit. Can it work out? Of course. But if it doesn't, you can't turn around and say, well, now I got to take another trade because I should have had 10 pips and I didn't get 10 pips. So now I'm going to find something else later on over here. I'm going to take something over here. It's like, no, your idea was right here. You have to be willing to accept the fact if you modify your idea as the trade is going through, then you modify the outcome. And there's a possibility the outcome could be negative. And you have to accept that. And what's your lesson at that point? Okay, I shouldn't have modified that idea at that point. I should have been happy with 10 pips, but I was not. And then you do a psychological evaluation. You say, why wasn't I happy with 10 pips? Well, 10 pips was only $1. 10 pips was only 50 cents. It wasn't good enough. Okay, well, why wasn't it good enough? Well, I have bills to pay. I have no money. I'm poor. I need to do this. Then maybe it's not trading that's the issue. Maybe it's your financial situation. And trading isn't going to change your financial situation. And that's where you need to get a better job, better education, things of that nature. It's not necessarily the trade is not giving you the money. The trade worked out the way it was supposed to. You were making too much of an expectation on that trade to solve bigger issues than what you currently have.
Real quick here. I think I have like a minor issue with gold here. So I'm earlier on, like this morning, we talked about this forward kind of flipping here. Starting to flip now. But I had my support drawn around these areas around here at 1931.228. We're going to be closing above it, but I want to see this forward count in 6 minutes here close above this direction for a better idea. If we close above this amount of resistance, then you can probably expect the next forward count to drive up. I mean, 6 minutes left. If we close below, we'll still be closing bullish, but chances of us going up is a lot higher if we were closely above that resistance here, because we'll be breaking out this range completely. This range here isn't that clean, right? You want to see a breakout and then looking left, looking at clean traffic up here, and that's the only issue I see with gold now. But 5 minutes, anything can happen. We set to drive, we set to reject, who knows? But and then once you get that 4 account closure, you're gonna be wanting to take your buys above 934. But by the looks of it, you're looking at 930 chat for positions. 9:15 here to 9 a.m. is the last 15 of the 4 candle. Expect a pullback, and then the first 15 of the 4 candle, you're expecting a bottom wick for the new 4 candle. If we do close bullish here, and then 930 is part of your position with NYC open. All right. For those are hunting positions.
Hey, sorry if I asked a bit more. If you don't mind. Why did gold, price of gold drop down so much on Feb 24th? When the war just started? Because it was heavy bullish, buys and gold, right? As you were saying on Roger's stream, and then it tanked. Do you know why afterwards, after analyzing the chart?
Yeah, because Biden came in and tried to calm everybody's fears and said he wasn't going to be engaging in the war. So that created calm in the stock market, which drove stocks up, where everybody moved money from gold back into equities, which then turned out to be a fake out, because the next day gold hit the bottom and nothing had really changed with the war, and tensions increased and it kept driving up. So it was almost like there was a liquidity grab, but it was basically Biden coming on trying to tell everybody everything was going to be okay.
We got a lot of cams. What's going on, GJ? It's doing what we're expected to do. It's just pushing up. It comes down to this house 4 account closes there. This is for me today was just a no trade range for me. My buys would be above here. Again, like you're looking at 930, guys. Wait for the out account close. Wait for the 4 account close. Look at 915, 930 for positions. But it's doing what we're expecting it to do. Wait, Ted, are you trading GJ2 right now, or is it just gold for you? Because I feel like you haven't
touched gold, or haven't touched GJ in 2.5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
For some reason I thought you were trading GJ this whole time.
No. No, I don't touch it. I had my fun with it.
This is off topic, but I got some Girl Scout cookies. Fire.
The strategy working on every pair. Yeah, the way I look at it is like it doesn't matter what pair you're trading, what time frame you're trading, as long as there's candles, it should be fine. It should be valid. Because like if you just remove all the indicators on your screen, all the time frame, the pair, it looks generally the same. Like you go to Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's the same exact concept for me at least. I can go around pair like for example UCGPY, it's the same concept. Or let me go on a Wanda's chart. A lot of gaps here. It's the same concept here. Right, like the daily, like it's the same structure you're looking at. Like right now, USDJPY has been in this weird range here on a daily within this area. If you zoom in close though, you're gonna still notice a lot more detail. And what you're gonna notice is that if you break on USDJPY on a daily, if you close above this range, one day you can probably push up towards the top of this range up here, like 116 here, right? Looking left, this is just clean traffic driving price up. You're probably expecting the price to mirror that area there. And whatever's in this range, it will be choppy because it's just in a range, right? So same idea as GJ, same idea as gold, same idea as US 30. Same concept. If you want bias on UCGPY, I mean, this 1 hour candle on UCGPY should pop up. You're probably expecting like 115.491 here. The reason why I want to trade is just because when you're trading UCGPY, you gotta focus on two currencies, which is the yen and the dollar. Or sorry, no. I don't know. UCGPY was never my favorite pair. I thought I was talking about GU for a second. GU, you gotta look at the dollar and the pound at the same given time during the same session. Whereas GJ, you're kind of just looking at the pound and not really the yen, because yen's closed during the New York session. Is it okay to trade 2 sessions? It's whatever you prefer. I mean, as long as you're consistent, as long as you show up to your sessions every day, should be fine. There's no like right or wrong, guys, when it comes to those things. It's not like, okay, if I trade 2 sessions, I'm not gonna be profitable. Like, you're gonna be profitable regardless if your strategy truly works, if your plan works, if you're sticking to your plan. The pullbacks are not the same. Look at your USD and your USD. I mean, here, take a look. I mean, your USD here, if I were to do my analysis, it's like, okay, well, the weekly looks like we're bearish here. It looks like we're breaking below these lows. You can probably expect these ranges to get filled on a weekly on your USD here. Wow, this pair, I haven't touched this pair in a long time. Yeah, coming down towards the support here, right? Looking left, this is all clean traffic driving price down. So that's what you're expecting price to do for the week. It doesn't necessarily mean that price will do that this week. You need some confirmations first. So those confirmations would be on a small time frame. You drop down to a daily. What does the data show? Data shows that you're once in a range here. There's a support level right here at 11.424, and if you close below, you're gonna continue down towards the next range, which is down here, clean traffic. That'll take you down towards the support level at 1.986, right? So that, going back to the weekly, that would now match perfectly with the daily time frame. As looking left, you have clean traffic till then. So if you want sells for a day now, you're just putting smaller pieces of the puzzle together. You want sells for a day, you want sells below here, 1.068. Below there, looking left, you have clean traffic until, let's see, let's scroll left there. Actually, I don't think I'll scroll left here. This is too far back. Yeah, on the 1 hour here, right? So below 0.683, you now have clean traffic until the support level right here. You're looking to catch this piece, this range right around here. So if I'm looking for sells, I'll hold out on ranges here and I'll take sells below here. Same concept as GJ, same concept as gold. Nothing really changes. Even on the higher time frames, right? Because like the way we look for our ranges is the same way we determine our biases on our higher time frames. Just think of it this way, chat. Like if we were to close above this range on, like, let's say this is a 30-minute time frame, right? And this is a daily, but let's say it's a 30 and you cover up the time frames. If this were to be a 30 and you close above the range, what would you expect the next 30-minute candle to do? Because your job is to just simply predict the next candle. That's all you're doing. So if you close above the range, you're expecting this next candle to drive up as long as it respects the previous daily candle low. So let's say this is a 30-minute time frame. I'll take a buy. On the flip, however, I have a buy stop here. My stop has to be the current candle low. My TP will be up here at the next resistance. Same concept. It's just on a higher time frame. But candles are candles regardless, right? Like right now, I think Marcos is like sample sizing. He's trying to figure out like, or he's gonna be sample sizing the daily time frame and the bias. Just taking positions off the daily alone, treating it as like a 30-minute candle.
Yeah, I've done a couple random back testing months. I've done some simulator months, but I'm kind of in more of a forward testing phase right now.
Yeah,
I'm interested. It'll be fun to see like 3-6 months worth of data going forward.
Because like the reason why our bias is like, I would say 90-95%, right? It's just because accurate. It's just because we're just predicting one candle. It's just the next candle. That's all that is. Going off the previous candles, previous ranges. Did gold close above here? Wow, gold close below in the 4-hour counter here. What we need now is we need to really break this 4-hour high, because if you don't break this 4-hour high, I don't really see price pushing up here at all. We this kind of might just retrace and just might come down back to like the 1925 level. We might be just stuck in this range again. We really gotta break that 4-hour high.
To be honest, the reason why that's happening, just based on sort of what I'm reviewing, is we haven't. It's bad, but you have to think of things logically in the markets, right?
Mhm.
So there's like that war right now in the Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that. Nothing is getting worse there. So people are dying, right? So the emotional part of it is like, yeah, there's thousands of people dying, but the logical sequence is the market understands that war is going to create death. War is going to be bad. The market is now looking for war to be worse. Like, what's the next big pillar that's going to happen in this war? And that's what's going to create the issues in the market, is when they say, oh, the NATO is being involved, that's going to make the war worse. Or, someone gets assassinated or something, that makes the war worse. Having people die is not making the war worse. It's to be expected, right? So it's very, very cold, like in the way that we think as humans. But when you evaluate the market, you have to say to yourself, okay, why is the market not moving that much? It's because they're waiting for the next good or bad thing to happen. And it has to be above what has currently happened in the market. It's just a sad thing, but you have to think that way. Like, the markets make you very cold and very calculated, and you just have to accept those outcomes where people would turn around and say, well, that's a cruel thing to say. Yeah, it's just, that's what happens. So you need bigger, badder things, or bigger, better things to happen so that gold starts to move. And I mean, obviously it still is. We're still pushing up a little bit, and now the daily is going to flip, it looks like, if we get to 1944. But I mean, once again, you might find that we may need one more day of this range and then it'll break out. So this is a day of exhaustion where it just sort of sits here, and then it'll continue to move. This person, Ted, do we have a limit on how many trades we can take, or if we've reached a certain P&L? It's how you feel. Like, if you go to a buffet, some people eat 4 plates at the buffet, some people eat 3. Is there a recommended serving? No, it's what you feel comfortable with. It's, some days I take 10 trades, some days I take 2 trades. Was I wrong in both instances? No, it's what opportunities presented and how I was feeling that day. When you start constructing ideas in a box, you start limiting yourself. You should have a set of rules that create ideas, but they shouldn't limit you, right? If you take 2 trades today and you see one more opportunity and you think that you're comfortable taking that opportunity, well, you take it. But you have to be accepting of the outcome. That's the difference, right? People don't accept the outcome. If you trade today and you make 5% and you say to yourself, I want to risk 5% on one trade at 9:30 Eastern, you have to accept the fact that you could lose all 5% and leave today break even, right? A perfect example, like, I would go play cards at Fallsview and I would make $500 or $600 back when I was in my 20s playing 2-5 no limit at Fallsview Casino. I would walk by the blackjack table and I would put $500 profit down, and I would say, okay, I'm either going to win $200 or $100, or I'm going to lose $200, but I'm not going to leave without profit today. And some days I would make an extra $100, other days I would lose $100, right? But it's just like, I have to be accepting of that outcome. I can't turn around and say, oh man, I just made $500 playing poker, I lost the money, now I got to go back and sit down and play poker. It's like, no, my time was done. Every choice that you make has a cause and effect. You have to be accepting of that, and people don't have that idea in their head. They say, okay, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do these certain things, but you're not willing to accept the outcome. because trading is very, very agile. It's very, very fluid. And you have to be accepting of the fact that, hey, if I take a trade now, I might not take a trade later. If I don't take a trade now, I might miss the trade later too, because I might not be around. You have to accept those things. The more accepting and honest you are about your trading ability, the easier trading becomes. If you know that you're still struggling, don't keep redepositing money. Don't do FTMO challenges or funding challenges. Don't do those. Accept the fact that you can't win. When you're honest with yourself, life is so much easier. You go to the gym, people don't ego lift. You think it makes sense for you to try and bench 300 pounds when you can't? No, don't do it. It doesn't matter. You're doing what makes sense for you. And that should be your motto in life, in all aspects of what you do from a psychological standpoint. Do what makes sense for you. Take ideas from other people, look at other ideas and say, hey, because there's all the same questions I get answered all the time. What's your risk to reward? Where do you place your stop? Should you use a percentage? How many trades should you take in a day? Those questions don't matter to me. They matter to you. You have to understand where your threshold is. And that only comes with trial and error. Maybe you're comfortable risking 20% a day because you have money behind you and you don't really care. Maybe you're only comfortable risking 1% a day. There's no right or wrong answer there. Maybe you're okay blowing an account once a week. That's your choice, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you have to decide your thresholds, right? It's like if you go to the gym and we work out together and I say, well, today I'm doing 85-pound dumbbells. You're going to say, well, how much should I do? I don't know. How many have you done previously? Well, this is my first time at the gym. Okay, well, maybe you have to start with 5-pound dumbbells. Yeah, but that's too light. I don't know that. We have to try. All these variables, all these questions that people ask, you have to try them yourself. Hey, I took 5 trades today. I was happy. I was comfortable doing that. 5 trades was too much. I can't do that. I was happy risking 1% a day. Ooh, 1% was way too much. Like, this is a trial and error. Everything is an experiment until you get that comfort level. Because if I tell you, hey, if you have a $100 account, you should be risking 1% per trade, only 1 trade a day, that's all you should be doing. Then you're going to look at me and be like, well, I'm not progressing. Okay, well then, what do you want to do? Well, I think I could up my risk. I think I could add more trades. Okay, how big is your sample size? Oh, I did 15 trades over the last 2 months. Do you think that's enough information? I don't know. Is it? Well, what do you think? Probably not, right? These are all dialogue questions that don't have a specific answer. They're questions that you need to actually do a full analysis of who you are as a person, where you're coming from, what are your long-term objectives, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, things like that. It's really, really important that you understand that you're the only one that's going to make yourself successful in trading. It's not going to be what I say. It's not going to be what Don says. It's not going to be what anybody else says. It's going to be you. You're the only one that's going to be successful at this point. It sucks. People don't like hearing that answer. They don't really like hearing the fact that, hey, I paid for mentorship and you're just telling me everything's subjective. Yeah, I am. It is. I'm sorry. You're not going to get a straight answer from me. Compare trading to going to the gym. Everybody has a different body composition. Everybody's different habits. Some people have fast twitch muscles. Some people have slow twitch muscles. Some people have long arms. Some people have short arms. There is always going to be a challenge for everybody that's doing what they're doing. But you figure out what works for you. Like for me, I can do high impact workouts, and that impacts my body more. How did I figure that out? I did every sort of workout I could. I didn't know what was right or wrong. I didn't know what was good for me. I just tried everything until what I saw results. I was happy with that. Maybe can I do something else that would give me faster results? Probably. Am I comfortable with what I'm doing right now? Yeah. So why should I change it? Oh, but you're not improving. You can improve faster. I'm okay with what I'm doing right now. I don't need to improve faster. Oh, but that doesn't make any sense. It makes sense to me. You can't tell me what I like and I dislike. That's society. Society starts to dictate to you what you need to do, what you don't need to do. And then you start questioning your own judgment, right? It's like with the whole sort of last 2 years, society was told to do certain things. And there are people saying, that doesn't really make sense. But yeah, but you just do it anyways. It's like, but I don't want to do that if it doesn't make sense. Oh, but you have to because you're impacting other people's lives. But am I? If I don't wear a seatbelt in my own car, am I impacting your life? No, I'm taking the risk. I get thrown through the windshield, not you. Yeah, but you shouldn't do that anyways. That's why we have seatbelts. Okay, but I choose not to. So now what? What are you going to do? You can't come at me, right? So it's just people need to, really focus on what makes sense for themselves. It's so true. Just really just dial everything in for yourself.
Getting that bottom wick now.
Yep. I don't know. The 4 hour candle is just bearish. It creates hot wick. It might just, again, like just fill this range. 15 breaking the lows. I don't know. What I want is the 4 hour break the highs and then like a 30 closure above. But 15 minutes left, chances are we might not even get anything. That's okay. Like if we don't like break the 4 hour highs and we start to drive down to the bottom of the range, like 29, 25, like just accept it where it is and just go into tomorrow. Because what are the chances that we're gonna come up to re-break the 4 highs 10 p.m. today? So, I don't know.
Could be a later move. We might have to come down first, retest that level at 1925, and then come back up. Yeah, look at all the bearish closures. I mean,
look at the daily candles. Yes. Works is not here. Works on is he's in Texas today. He's doing going for a little like business day trip or something, and then he's gonna be back tonight at 7. So we'll be on tomorrow. One day without Wicks, a day of Ted. That's okay.
and it's 6th man of the year. I'm telling you. We'll tag me. We'll tag out. Oh, we're driving now.
Yeah. This GG candle is gonna be interesting. This 4 hour candle on GJ here.
Russia just said that the third world war will be nuclear. Jeez. Well, it's getting serious, boys.
Nuclear and destructive. Yeah, see that.
Getting pretty serious.
Damn. How's China and Taiwan?
Yeah, that's the other big thing too. That's scary.
Russia and China team up. We're fucked. Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty bad because China's just watching right now what Russia's doing with Ukraine, and they're going to do the exact same thing with Taiwan. And the problem is, if China takes over Taiwan, we're screwed as a nation. Like the Western countries are screwed, because essentially China will make sure that anything getting exported out of Taiwan is increased tenfold, right? Because you figure what comes from Taiwan? All major electronics, computer parts. So imagine right now you buy a computer for $1,000. Man, China takes it over. Computer's going to be like $5,000, $6,000. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Putin is going to really create scary stuff right now. Very scary.
Get some water. Hold on.
How to survive during a nuclear war. You don't.
Wear a mask.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? So everyone always talks about how to survive like a pandemic or a war or something like that. Look at it this way. If things get really, really bad and there's a nuclear war, do you really want to live through that?
Got a point.
I don't. I don't want to be here for the fallout. I don't want to be here in nuclear fallout where people have like radiation poisoning, you've lost a limb, your limbs have mutated. I'm good. Just exit me.
Exit. Off switch.
Yeah. Yeah, like think about it, right? If that happens, there's no sense of living. And I mean, yeah, now I'm going to have all these people that are like pro like life and everything. Like, oh, how could you say that? Trust me. You think about it this way. Even if you survive, what's the world going to look like after that? There's going to be nothing there. You're going to be stuck fighting with other people. Everything's going to be dead. It's not going to be fun.
You looking at GJ buys, Don?
You talking to me, bro?
Don,
Oh,
you're muted.
Shoot, no, yeah, no, I don't like the 4 candle just closing no top wick. No range, and like the previous 4 hour had no bottom wick as well. Daily still bearish, could still flip at the current top wick. No buys. Maybe if you get like a, I don't
30
know,
closure. Isn't
30 or 1 hour closure, just close right at resistance here. It's gonna be very tough. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Earlier on, I was looking for them, but with the 4 count closed now, it's very unlikely that I may get buys. I might just wait for maybe above, or no, yeah, I might just scratch the idea of buys at all today and just wait for sells below 153.390. Do you need to get a sample size of trades before live trading with real money? Of course. It's called back testing. Back testing, forward testing, you know. some people would like jump in the markets of real money, and they ask me, "Yo, Don, how does news affect the market?" I'm like, "Bruh, how are you gonna put real money into an account and FX account, not know how like these simple things like
Does the war affect the market?
like you know it's kind of sad. Like it's the first page on baby pips fundamentals. Please check this resistance GJ 154 129. Yeah, there's a resistance here. The issue with me is there's no top wick here, right? So no top wick means that there's a 50, I'll say a 50 chance of this going up. And like if they were to have a top wick and it were to close above, we'll have an 85-70% chance of going up on this forward candle. But with no top wick, it just decreases the odds. So I don't want to be in a situation where I'm taking a lower probability trade. I don't want to sell down for less here. But if you look left, you're gonna notice that every time we closed above back into the range here, like here, we're able to come out to fill like 154 400. So if anything, wait for closures for buys. But I don't think I'll be taking any buys on GJ. I think I'm just gonna be locking to gold here. Gold came down though, as expected. Came down to create a new 4 bond on wick, or it's coming down to fill this area here. If you look at this though, okay, so the 4 candle on gold here closed bearish, right? We closed bearish below our support here, and price, what the first thing it did today was to create a top wick. It didn't break the highs, create a top wick, and then it started to reject. So if you look at a 1 hour candle here, you're gonna notice similar to what I did yesterday on GJ, exact same thing actually. If you remove all these lines here, you have a support drawn right here, and then you have a resistance drawn here. This is now, you can look at it as a false breakout if the 4 count is bearish. So if you break back into the range, and if you close in about 3 or 4 minutes or the 30-minute count closes back inside the range, you could expect the next count to just drive down to tap the bottom of the range, and eventually over time, with the 4 count being heavily bearish for the rest of the wick, coming down towards like 1916 here, you should see some volume come in. Like same exact. If you guys watched the video I posted yesterday on GJ, the breakdown, the same exact situation. The difference is though, the daily time frame is not bearish on gold today. That's it. But whole idea is there. Sells below 1925. You get a closure isn't bad. You need a 1 hour closure though. You're looking at 10 a.m. probably.
I think the other thing is too, if people see the significance now of the fact that you placing a buy stop right over here is super key, because of the fact that imagine you had taken buys over here because you saw this candle go bullish, and I said no, don't do that, wait. Now you're like, you feel good because you're like, hey, this is great, like
W.
price is moving down. I didn't get stuck in a trade. You waited, and then what happens is, like you said, if it drops down over here, great, people can take sells, but your buys can still be profitable when everything sort of bounces from this area over here and starts to drive up. And then that means you really have that move. So essentially we've gone through here and then we just continue up here. So you've waited for that move, and you'll see all the candles consolidating in this section here. And then when it breaks out, your trade gets activated,
And it's clean.
first stop, second stop, and then basically you're back up to here. But you have no stress. If it continues to drop over here, cancel your buy stop. Be like, okay, no valid anymore. But you didn't take an entry just based on the 1 candle. We prepared for the candle to go up, but if it didn't go up, you didn't have to worry. It's okay. Analysis didn't play out. But it didn't cost you anything to do that, right? And that's what you have to get used to doing, is sometimes you're gonna do this and it's just not gonna happen, and you're like, okay, cool, try again next time. But you're not gonna change your analysis. You're gonna do the exact same thing, because you know that this is just one time that this didn't happen. And then you can go back and, like Don said, hey, the 4-hour rejected and was going down. So, okay, my 4-hour bias was more this way. Obviously, the daily is still bearish. So there's higher time frames playing out. So that's okay. So now we know, okay, this didn't make sense. Maybe it flips and it starts to make sense later on. But the good thing is you didn't take a buy just based on the fact that this hour candle went bullish and you're like, oh, now we have to go up. It's like, no, set your analysis so that you know I can take trades over here, or I can take trades over here into this zone, into this area here. And I just sit and wait. Let everything marinate in here. Let this area marinate. You're a retail trader. You don't have to force yourself into the market. Let the market move and you can take advantage of the market.
Hashtag not a retail trader. Yeah. It's like yesterday, guys. Like, I think yesterday we spent a lot of time within this range. It's kind of similar to what we have today. Yesterday we spent a lot of time in this range. We spent like maybe 4 or 3 hours in this range, and then we got a breakout. And once you got a breakout, what happened? It was just a clean push, right? So you could have easily avoided this range just by just being patient and waiting for us to really break out by closing above. That was it. You wouldn't have been caught in this mess. And once you broke out, that was your move. Like all the whole New York session today did one thing, and that one thing was just range within this area. So you really need a breakout.
Take a look at this 30 of closing bearish respecting support in the 1 hour. It's still respecting those lows. I mean, this 1 hour could very well just
Flip.
make a ball all the way down, respecting the lows, and then flip bullish, and you get the 30-minute salary play, and the 4 hour breaks the highs. That's probably the only trade I'm going to take personally, if it plays out or if it doesn't.
Yeah, I'll be clean too with the 1 hour closure above.
Yeah. Someone said, why are you wasting time on gold? GJ is flying. In the last 30 minutes, GJ has moved up 9.3 pips. It's flying. It's got wings.
I told you guys about I was staying out. I told you guys about the 4 candle. That's why I'm staying home. If you're comfortable taking it with the 4 candle, then take it. You know, like just because I'm not taking it doesn't mean that's not valid. It's just coming down to my own preference. I rather prefer not to take it due to the 4 candle not having a top wick. That's it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not right. I'm not wrong. You're not right. You're not wrong. You're just making decisions off of your past results. All right. It's good though, because look at this. Yeah, this is solid. Wait, you're looking for a closure, right, on a 1 hour?
I would like, yeah, it would also be the 1 hour. I mean, this 30-minute to close bullet. I mean, like if you go on the 30-minute,
The 5 close bullet too.
Yeah, if you look on the 30-minute, there's the last 2 times that it closed above 1933.4. It closed above and it drove up. It closed below, it drove down, and then in the middle, it respected it and it rejected. So that's a key level. I just want a 30-minute to close above there and try to mirror that traffic up. But I would also need the 4 hour highs to break as well.
Yeah, you need the 4 hour highs to break and closure. Yeah, 1935.875 here. I don't know. Might be a late move, might not. I think my cutoff time today would be like maybe 10. If we don't close above by 10, I'm just gonna call it a day.
Oh, it's nice out today. I got a long day.
What are you doing?
I don't know if I could do another 11:30 stream.
Oh hell no, for sure not.
I gotta clean. I gotta go to Manhattan. I gotta pick up some shoes. Got to train tomorrow. Got a lot of things to catch.
Oh yeah. You're not here Friday?
I will not be on the stream Friday.
Tomorrow's Thursday. Damn.
Tomorrow I'll be on the train. I'll be in the chat. Maybe I mean I have there's Wi-Fi in the business class and all that stuff, so maybe I'll pop on. But Friday, definitely no. Hoop dreams.
Yo, good morning, guys. Good morning. Great stream so far.
What's up, Reza?
I think I just missed it, but what did you guys just say about the GJ closer? Because I went to go get water.
The 4 candle for me.
No top week, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
That was it for me. You guys trade first Fridays though? That's kind of insane. Yeah. I
First
trade.
Friday oh, like NFP is what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm here Friday. I may not have buy stops and sell stops, but I will be here on the stream looking for positions as usual. I mean, hopefully Friday will be cleaner than today or tomorrow even. I think tomorrow should be a lot cleaner because I mean, depending on how we close, we have 7 hours left. I can't really say. I'll update you guys tonight during Asian.
Yeah. Give a speech here at 10 or Fed Chair Powell's testifies. We also have 10:30 crude oil inventory. There's a lot of news today.
Yeah, crude oil inventory should be should be interesting. Yo, Marco, so Vancouver in June?
Yes.
Sick.
It's gonna be a game of 21 live stream. What do you guys have for basketball courts? It's not YMCA, right? Because that's America.
There's ball courts in Vancouver, I think. Hey, you still play basketball?
Might not be here. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Me? Play ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play Tuesday nights here. There's a spot here in the city. I go play on Tuesday nights for 2 hours.
You still play? Is it like a rec center or is it?
Yeah, it's like an industrial unit with a couple of courts. They rent out the courts, so yeah, we get a couple of runs in. You're always in a sort of I guess what is it like a state of confusion, or that's not the right word, but like a state of paradox, because it's like you want to play hard but you don't want to injure yourself. So it's always a struggle, right? Because like I want to play well, but like I'm not gonna kill myself trying to grab rebounds or jumping on people. And it was funny, like last night, like it's a pretty good game, like it's pretty competitive, but I just like there's certain instances where it's like, no, I'm not diving for that ball. Like I value my body at this point.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the age yet where I really like. Right, I'm still diving right now when I'm playing volleyball, diving for balls and just got the courts.
It's always in the back of your head. It's like, do I want to play do I want to win as bad as I want to ruin my life for 3 months while I recover from injury and I'm on crutches? Like, especially if you've had bad injuries. Like I broke my ankle, I sprained and broke my ankle so many times. It's like, a sprained ankle literally you can't do anything. Like you're just limping around. It's even hard to drive. So.
Well, the other thing is too, once you do that a couple of times, your ankle never recovers and it becomes super weak. Like I was lucky playing ball through university and high school that I never had to wear an ankle brace. Like I think I rolled my ankle once in high school and then like rehabbed it pretty good. But then other than that, I've never rolled it. But now like the way that basketball shoes are made, like everything's low cut. Like it's horrible. Like I'm wearing like Zions right now, and it's just like, man, like I mean, I'm just happy that my ankle hasn't rolled yet.
Yeah, the older Kyrie mid cuts are decent.
Yeah,
I mean, I just had to stop playing with my ankles and just like, how Steph Curry got hurt and then he started playing with his hips because he has such bad ankles. I had to like teach myself that because I used to be such like a jumper.
Yeah,
it's just like it's so bad for you.
I've never been injured. Ever. Ever.
It's good.
I know, I'm a knock on wood, but I've never been injured.
I tore my meniscus and like it just never heals. The worst part is it's so much easier to re-injure things after it's already been injured.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst. Because now if I just sidestep a little bit, I just like re-tear it.
I want to get that checked out.
I got it checked out. They said surgery, but I was too young, so they're like, just wait on it. But yeah, it's just I don't know about your injuries, but my injury just super easy, so I can't really like steer anything now. Just super easy to like re-injure it.
You're not like you got strong ass bones.
Don, what's your vertical?
Like grade 9, like that was the last time I really checked. It was 28 inches. Like I don't know anymore. It's probably
Your
a lot. It's
video-
probably a lot lower.
That video looked higher. It looked like 30 plus.
Nah. I don't
I'm
know.
telling you.
I got taller, so it's like I don't gotta put as much effort into my jumps anymore. But I don't think. I think my vertical now is like low 20s.
Gold 1 hour broke the lows.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, I lied.
Did it? I think I did. Let me check. I think Trading View broke. I mean, Traders made broke the lows.
Marcos, what position would you play in soccer?
Right mid.
Okay, okay. Good stuff.
Guys, so this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. So you had like that, it's like similar GG, exact same. If you look at the video yesterday, the exact same thing happened. You're starting to break the 1 hour lows now. So now you're starting to picture in your head like what's starting to happen now. We break the lows, looking left. You're probably expecting this candle to drive down. If you go back on the 4 hour candle, it's 4 hour wick fill. You should fill the rest of the range here. I think what you need though is you're gonna need this 1 hour candle close, because this 1 hour could still reject and just respect the support. And if it does that at 10 a.m., your day is done probably, or my day is done at least, because then we just spend the rest of the session in the range probably. Or you might get a later move at like 11, 12, but it's just, I don't think I'm gonna be on until that late. I think my session will just end at 10. You're not considering this range is gold breaking out of range 2? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's range 2. You have range 1 over here, resistance, support, and this is your range 2. You need a closure, right? In 19 minutes here, because the 30 minute has closed below before, failed to continue down. The 15 closed below before, failed to continue down, but the 1 hour time frame has never closed below before. So a 1 hour closure breaking through the support would easily take you down towards 16 level, 1916. Or I might just miss the whole entire range here. That's okay. I'm just gonna wait for a closure. If it drives, it drives, right? But I'm gonna wait for what I want. That's the thing in trading too. You don't gotta enter as someone else is entering. You can just enter whenever you want. Make decisions off of how you feel and prefer. That 4 hour is key right there. And looking at the daily now, like as you're starting to come down on the 4 hour candle, if you do fill that wick and fill this range at 1916, you go back on a daily, 1916 would be right at that resistance again. So this daily candle today, depending on how we close, could either close respecting this resistance, or it can come back into the range. And if it comes back into the range, it's gonna be the exact same thing that's happening right now on the 4 hour candle or the 1 hour candle. It would just be us breaking back into the range, and then tomorrow's daily candle, you'll probably see it drive down. If you do close below like 1905 today, 1910 today, same exact situation. And this will be tomorrow's candle coming down to fill the range at 1890, right? But I mean, wait to see what happens tonight. In 7 hours. Kiso MM. What's the best backtesting software? I like a FOREX simulator, but still not perfect. I don't really backtest anymore though. I use a simulator maybe like once every 6 months or 3 months or something. Do you trade supply and demand for it? Yeah, it's same thing. Same way you trade now. Same support and resistance, same levels. We may get some sells, guys, in 16 minutes. Maybe. Yo, guys, we hit 1,000 viewers today. I appreciate you being here today.
Yo, congrats. Well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you do the Wordle yet?
We'll do it later. I'm kind of locked in here. Let's see. The only issue is with this 1 hour candle is the stops are gonna be pretty massive if you close. It's gonna be like 100 pip stop. So you're gonna want like maybe a 30-minute stop, 15-minute stop, or at least use the next current high as a stop. So the new 1 hour candle. Let's see. If you guys want this journal here, just do exclamation point templates in the chat and this should pop up. The journal, the exclamation point template, no, exclamation point journal will lead to like an empty template. If you do trades, it will lead to this one. So we have an empty one for you guys. People are just requesting for to edit this one. I'm like, bruh, just make a copy for yourself and just delete it. Why did you miss GJ? I didn't miss GJ. I just don't want to enter off of the forehand has no top wick. We discussed this like 6 times. Forehand has no top wick here. There's no range to drive up for me. For me, at least, right? If you want to take buys, take buys. But I'm not comfortable taking buys here, just because we're slightly below that resistance here. How can you get so many trades in one day just trade one pair? There's plenty of opportunities. I have no trades today though. 0. People overtrade. You'd be surprised. People overtrade with 1 pair, 2 pairs a day. Four hours a wick if you zoom in. Well, you know what I mean, right? Like there's no range overall. Like, oh yeah, there's a wick, but that's not the idea. The idea is that there's just no range. There's just a little nib there. I want like a decent wick, because a wick means range. If you drop down to a small time frame, all that's happening within a wick is just range is being created on a small time frame. Let's say for instance the 4 kind of has no range to drive up here. You go on a 1 hour time frame or the 30-minute time frame, the 15. Here, if you go to in the chat and you guys do like maybe exclamation point wick fill, it'll be a little like video. Here, I'll pop up for you guys. Yo, peace out, JXTR. Have a great day. Here, so there's this link here. It leads to this post. That wick is just a range being created. So when people talk wick, when people talk about wick fills, this is what I'm looking at. It's just a wick being created. This is a range being created on that as that wick, and as prices filling that wick on a higher time frame, all that's happening on a smaller time frame is this price is just creating a range to go up. So as this is happening on a smaller time frame, these candles are starting to form support to drive up. On a higher time frame, prices just filling that wick like this on a 1 hour. So when there's no wick, it just means there's no range. It lowers the probability of us driving up. Let's see, 12 minutes here. Kind of quiet day for Wix night today, no?
Hey,
What's your feel?
got a good substitution.
Yeah.
So,
I barely had to talk today. Shout out Tad though. I always enjoy his company.
Yo, are you super locked in right now?
No, why?
I had like a completely unrelated question.
What's
For
up?
chat too. Yo, if you could like mix any two animals to make like the most OP animal, what do you guys think you'd mix? Yo, some animals are pretty goddamn crazy.
That was so random. I'm
You
scared.
can't process it, yeah.
Maybe like a gorilla and an eagle.
I'm guessing you can't use humans.
Yeah, no, you can't use humans now. I was thinking like an eagle and like gorilla eagle would be pretty nice.
Don't steal
I
my
think
answer.
like an eagle and like a cobra. Like imagine like a venomous eagle, but like I think we could do better than that. Some more armor on it maybe.
If a gorilla has 10-foot wingspan and talons with all that strength.
You know what I do?
Yeah, that'd be pretty mess. So much mobility too.
So two different animals.
Yeah, yeah, and you could be like, yo, it could be like you could shape him how you want, you know, like how Marcos just did.
I'll do
I'm
GJ.
interested to see what chat has to say too.
I'll do GJ in gold.
Yo, I said animals, not demons. Sounds like Putin and Trump. Bull and bear, cat with stinger.
Much love, TT. Thank you. Yeah, we can get French likes, I guess. That'd be dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Marcos takes it on this one.
I don't know. I can't think of anything. Maybe if I
That's pretty OP. Flying gorilla.
Yeah. I'll do like a shark and a giraffe, bro.
How would it look?
I don't know. A shark and giraffe. Will be
I
tall.
do.
Will be D's.
And it could go underwater.
Actually, no. Anything flying will probably be elite.
Yeah, anything flying, I'm thinking.
I would do a sloth and a turtle, bro. Just sleep it out.
Sleep it out.
Yeah, let's do never mind.
Alex said bear and owl. Their argument is bears beat gorillas. Horse alligator.
Damn, you know, like I never check like the mod log. If you check the mod log, so many people get time out. I never check. Like I never like pay attention to it, but I should.
They're working at overtime today, the mods.
Yo, thanks mods. You can see the rejection on the 5-minute look. Yeah, I mean it's a support level. Yeah, it's that's why we said like you need like need a closure below the support for the drive down. Without a closure, yes, I'm expecting price to reject because this is a support to drive up if we don't close below. Oh, am I taking buys? No, I'm gonna wait to see price reject, and then as we start to close above these ranges, I will then take my buys going up. But just because we're at support, it doesn't mean I'm gonna take a buy, right? I'm not gonna try to catch the whole entire range. I'm just trying to catch a piece of it. So I'm gonna wait for the information to come to me, and then take the buys after. And that's gonna be above 1933. All right.
On the command sheet needs to be updated.
I haven't updated in years.
Yeah.
I might just take it out. It's kind of useless. Well, clicking my calendars. What do those dots mean? I don't know. I'm not too sure. I never knew. I never know. So is your long streams done? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this year, like as the streams have extended, you know, I mean, we got more trades, more opportunities. So I don't know. I like the vibes though. Like it's maybe 10 a.m., 10:30ish. I got kind of used to it. Like a stream till 9 a.m. is very short for me now. Because you have NYC open too, right? So it makes sense why we extend the streams. I mean, over time, like streaming is also draining too. Like imagine, like you're on a stream, you're talking in chat. It's nowhere near like it's nothing as if you just trade by yourself. If I was trading by myself, I'll be fine trading from like 6:30 to 10, 11. But like as you're streaming, you gotta engage the chat, you gotta talk to chat. It gets pretty tiring. So
I am personally a fan of these 10:30 streams.
yeah, I can tell. You love late streams. You love overtraining, right, Reza?
I'm a lot better, bro. Yeah, actually, I've like taken like 2-3 trades in the last 4 or 5 days. So, hey.
I've been training for 5 years now. Been through a whole lot of strategies. And beginning of February, I came across the channel. And I have to say, I complicated trading. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, bro. No worries. I mean, hey, we've been doing the same thing for like the last 2 years on stream, and people are starting to just like show up now, which I'm grateful for. But people are starting to notice how simple it is, or how simple it should be. Why didn't you take more positions on stream since 2/18/22? Well, because there's not much opportunities. Not every day's a training day, right? Okay, here's the thing. If an opportunity comes, I take a position. If my trade ideas don't come to life, I'm not taking any positions. I'm just gonna wait patiently for those time to
You
come.
have 3 positions after that.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? Why didn't you take any more positions after that?
No, he means like in general, like why the volume of positions starts to die down, because we take a position every day after.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
Okay. Third man's starting to reject. Third man never closed below Marcos. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. We might get some buys at 10 a.m. guys. 4 minutes left. Yeah, this 5 minute here, guys, has clean traffic driving price up now. There's nothing in between this area and this area right now. This is clean driving price up. So we can push up within the last 4 minutes here. We may get a closure. If not, then day's done. Maybe. I might wait to see if we can get a 1 hour starter play, but can you tell us what you do after stream? I make content. I reply to DMs on Instagram. I reply to all DMs. If you guys check the, let's see, let me see my DMs. I'll show you guys. So right now I got, after today's stream, I got quite a few DMs to answer. So these are DMs. This is what I got after. So I usually reply all DMs, all requests, and then I just kind of make content, post on IG, post on TikTok, post on YouTube Shorts, and then that takes like maybe an extra hour and a half, 2 hours. And then usually Marcos FaceTimes me after we talk about like the training day and shit, and then DVS stuff, and then that's about it. That's my work. I think my job finishes, my shift finishes every day around like 12 p.m. or 1 p.m.
Pretty much the same for me. Then go to the gym.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, eat, and then, I mean, it's already by then. It's like 2, 3, I'm done for the day. Maybe do some extra stuff and then look at the charts for Asian later. But like Asian charts, it's like you look at it for like a minute and look away.
Yeah, you're like, oh, is there opportunity? If not, then go on. Yeah. Hey Don, do you give yourself a second chance? Do you risk the same? Yeah, I risk the same amount. I'm not here trying to chase, like, every trade is a new opportunity for me. Every day is new. Every trade is a new day. I think of it as that. Like, let's say for instance I took a loss today. I took another trade. I didn't take a loss today. This is my first trade of the day. I treat every trade as if it's my first trade of the day. I never chase back my losses. Never. If I lost 1% in the morning and I only made 0.5% the next trade, I'm okay with that. It happens all the time though. And as momentum starts to shift, you start to pick things up. Full-time, change to full-time job. Yeah, full-time job. Been full-time since October 2019. How similar would you say your training style is Wix Online? I think it's similar, but it's not similar at the same time because we have a lot of our concepts. A lot of, like, our playbook is a bit different. Like I think, I don't know. Like I used to watch his streams. Like, and I think it's more of just, I don't know. It's similar in a way. It's similar in terms of price action, like market zones and stuff. But in terms of executing, like, and other variables that come with it, it's a bit different. What do you say about that, Marcos?
I think we don't, like, we've kind of moved off to the side. It's kind of a lot different now. We don't take impulse entries. We don't take trades against our daily buys without having a range 2 breakout. We kind of have a playbook. So it's kind of it's a lot different.
I can see why, like, people would like, I think it's very similar, which I won't blame. Like, it looks pretty similar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if he was streaming right now, you have the same levels as us. Like, this would be his resistance and this would be his support, same exact levels. And we'd probably be waiting for a breakout above the range to go up. Same idea we have. It's all similar, you know. You know, like, everyone has their own way of doing things, though. You know, like, Wixon has his own way of doing things. I have my own way. Marcus has his own way. Like, everyone has their own way of doing things. Ted has his own way. There's no right, there's no wrong. But this 1 hour candle on this 1 hour candle on gold closed the same way the 30-minute candle closed. Yeah, guys, I think it's good to say that we can just call it a day, right? I mean, hey, what are we gonna do? We can't get buys.
The 1 hour respecting support, 15 is closing bullish. I mean, it'll probably be late buys if there's buys.
Yeah, like, I'll state later if there's more potential for buys. But right now with the 1 hour closing bearish, like, will we break the 1 hour highs? Like, I don't know. I get a 1 hour start play, I'll say that. Raj is on IG Live. Going for more news. Yeah, you have I think you have, no, you have to, that's it. I mean, 10 a.m. you have this feature going on, and you have 10:30 crude oil inventories. That's about it. All right. Wordo, you're right. Before hop off, let's do a Wordo. Yeah, let's do a Wordo for hop off. Yeah, chat. Let's do a Wordo. Power up chat. All right, let's go. Let's do. What do you want?
Profit.
What is it?
No, 6 letters. No.
Do house.
Range.
Okay.
Wow. No O-U or E.
Like S-A. Go skate, right? Or no, there's no E.
No. Skeet.
Skate.
Oh shit. Speaking about Skeet, fucking Kanye dropped his documentary today.
Go snack. S-N-A-C-K, yeah.
I know how to spell snack, Marcos.
Yeah, episode 3 comes out today.
Oh, not bad. Okay, so the second letter, third, or fifth letter has to be an S. Could it be?
Maybe starts with an A.
I think it's gonna be the third letter. Second letter is A. I think. I think it's gonna be something AS, right?
Try nasty. Oh,
Yeah, nasty could be good.
NAS. Oh yeah, not bad. Yeah, that's a good guess.
Nice.
W.
Good guess, bro.
That was crazy. We got better. Yo, we used to spend 30 minutes doing this. Now it's like 5 minutes. We're in, not even like 2 minutes. We're in and we're out. Yo, Moz, yo, you hasn't gotta like delete the answers just because we covered chat anyways, right? So. Weza. Might get a 1 hour story play here. I don't know. You didn't call it, Marcos? What's the word? Like, I want to call it. What do you mean in Canada? Yeah, guys. I'm gonna call it a day, I think, guys. I think what's gonna happen here is we're gonna just stay in this range here, or it's 2. We could just drop down to fill this 1 hour wick here. This 1 hour kind of didn't close below though, so it's kind of at like it's kind of just within its own range here. It's at this support right here, and it's at this resistance, so it's in this mini range here. I want buys, but I want buys to be above the 4 hour break of highs, and I want to see a closure above maybe like at 10:30. If I see it, I'll call it in a single channel, or if I call it my Discord. And then for sells, like, I won't be interested in sells, to be honest, because of the way 1 hour count closed there. I want to see a 1 hour closure below here. So if I'm waiting for sells, I'm gonna have to wait for the 11 a.m. candle instead of the 10:30 a.m. candle, right? Which is another hour waiting. And for me, all right, I might as well call it a day. And then for buys, I need a third closure above or 1 hour closure above. So, but yeah, that's my day, guys. We did our best today. I think we broke down gold pretty good, and we were pretty patient today. And GJ, I guess, gave you the buys, but I wasn't really locked into GJ today. But yeah, 3 days of a trade, or sorry, no, we took a trade yesterday. What am I saying? We took a trade yesterday. But yeah, man, you know, tomorrow's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, and then the day after's Friday. Tomorrow should be interesting. So okay, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Okay, don't trip, don't overturn all the leverage. Just chill, and there might be more opportunities later on. Who knows? But
take care, everybody. Thanks for hosting, Don.
Of course, man.
Take care.
Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day.
I'm
gonna just chill, play
Peace
games. Today's a good day.
Peace and love.
Peace out, yo. Peace out. Good chat. Peace out, you guys. Peace out.
Like the stream, y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mark.
Subscribe.
The sun